Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, welcome
Yes, we
everyone. Very welcome, everyone. Let's do, there's no formalities. I'm trying to do away from a lot of formalities so that we can focus on what we are planning to do today. DG has got a very tight schedule, so we will go into our chit chat later. And I'd just like to invite our Governor, PDG Dato Bindi, to say her piece this morning so that we can kickstart with our chat. Yeah, DG, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Siti. And I also did not prepare any protocol or formalities. I thought also on the same lines of doing away with it. So anyway, good morning, friends. Bernard, are you on standby? Bernard?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, friends, and welcome to this session today. Now, I've been given this opportunity to start the fire, and I sincerely hope I'll be able to ignite it and hope that it will be blazing through to the end of this session. But allow me to take you on a little journey in your mind. What is it that you as a Rotarian want to achieve? And what is it you want to see to make a difference? Do you not want to leave a legacy? Do you not want your club to be remembered for making the difference in your community? This is the opportunity. This is what our foundation is offering to every club to leave a legacy. This is the heart of Rotary, and this is what it's all about. Now, I want you to view a 3-minute video. Bernard will play the video soon. And wait, hold on. But it's about Land Rovers. Now, I'm not selling Land Rovers, nor have they paid me to promote this, okay? But I want you to view the Land Rover as a global grant and imagine you in the driver's seat. Can you all do that for me, please? You are the one maneuvering the global grant, which is the Land Rover in this video. And I will continue my comments after the video. Over to you, Bernard. Can you please play the video?
माने भन्ने चाहिँ भारत नेपाल सीमानाको एउटा अङ्ग हो
भन्ज्याङ भनेको चाहिँ अब मोड सबैतिरको बाटो आउने
This is not exactly a town, this is a small village, but out here we have around 40 Land Rovers.
Land Rover बुढो भनेको छ नि अब त्यो मान्छे भन्दा ज्यादा भएको एज भएको त छैन होला
अल टोटल मिलाएर अहिले हाम्रो 42 वटा गाडी छ त्यही कारण माने भन्ज्याङ धेरै फेमस भएर गएको छ
And we feel so proud about it. Where people say, where do you belong to? We say, we belong to the place, we have Land Rovers.
यहाँबाट सन्दकपू देख्नु पर्यो भने त यता देख्नु पर्यो माथि माने भन्ज्याङमा ल्यान्ड रोभर इम्पोर्टिङ भएको चाहिँ किनभने माथि कच्चा रोड थियो अरू गाडी त्यो हुँदै नआउने
Road up to Sandakpur steep, I would say like this.
यहाँ बाटोको अलिकति त्यो अप्ठ्यारो भएकोले गर्दाखेरि
सन्दकपुर फालुट रोडमा अरू गाडीले त्यति तुलना नगर्दा पनि हुन्छ
To drive a Land Rover, you need little courage. You must be very confident. Driving on the bumpy roads are very tough, but you can get anywhere you want driving Land Rover. Now there are lots of cars. It comes with lots of complexity. But no, I like the simplicity of the oldest one, 1957 Land Rover. So it makes me very strong.
जुन चाहिँ यो ल्यान्ड रोभरको कम्युनिटीहरू छ हैन संस्था एकदम राम्रो छ जस्तै मौसम जस्तो बिग्रिँदाखेरि नि उहाँहरूले त्यस्तो मौसममा पनि हामीलाई ठिक जग्गामै यसरी अब एकदम सेफ्टी
After driving very tough roads, at last you see magnificent views of Himalayas. It's very spiritual and calming. Land Rover is so important to this community because everyone have a special emotion connected to the Land Rover. That's why they're still alive here. And it's unbreakable.
Thank you, Bernard. Okay, guys, I hope you got the message, and let me restate what was shown. The global grant is the pride of Rotary. It will take you in the right direction. The road is steep, the route challenging, but you are armed with the best possible opportunity to make a difference. You need the courage and confidence. The road may be bumpy and tough, but you can get to anywhere you want. The Global Grant Program is a well-established program, proven and strong. And no matter how challenging it is, you will reach your destination safely. And at your destination, you will be rewarded with the magnificent feeling of your achievements because it has created such an impact in your community. So friends, jump in the driver's seat, enjoy the journey because the destination is worth it. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, DG. Thank you very much for kicking start the fire, of course, up in the mountains in Siti.
Thank you, DG.
Of a cold place, but yet the challenges are there. Thank you for joining us. Now let us just continue with our session again. Let me see, let me just share this. Okay. Right. Why we are here today, but before that, let me just quickly recognize everybody, our current leaders, past leaders, future leaders, leaders of the clubs, leaders of the district. And one of the reasons why we have several colors that you see there, because every one of you play an important role. If you put all these colors together, we really can come up with a beautiful rainbow of things. Right, you have the greens who are Rotarians, we have the blues who are TRF chairs, we have the purple who are the AGs, we have the orange who are the club TRF chairs. All of us play an important role, and therefore, my friends, all of you here today are leaders of the TRF Foundation in our district. Now, why this program called Fire Summit, the TRF Fire Summit? Now, one of the things that I have been, or rather the committee have been experiencing the last few months and talking to clubs, one of the key things that clubs are actually fearing is to do global grant project. They're so comfortable doing smaller projects. You know, you say, we just raised 4,000, you know, it's easy. We just do a project and we have completed, finished, the community is happy, we are happy, you know. And for us to do a $30,000 project, you mean we must create a $30,000 project, manage it, how to apply, it's so difficult, how to get $120,000. So it is the fear of global grant that a lot of clubs refuse to do it. But let me tell you, share this with you, my friends. I mean, let's just get some little basics that we understand what our foundation is doing globally. This is what the foundation is globally doing. I mean, we have spent in Rotary 4 billion over the years in life-changing sustainable projects, right? Yes, there are about 490 district grants last year with 339 in disaster response because of COVID. But you can see 1,000 over global grants worth 95 million, over $1 million, right? So that means why global grant? Because it really is something that we can put a mark on. Rotary's mark is on that project. Rotary's, what you call, our efforts in running projects that can be seen, can be, the beneficiaries will be able to appreciate it in long run. I mean, at the end of the day, you see a water filter, hey, that's done by Rotary. You spend 1 month, 3 months trying to do this, rather than, you know, we go give 4,000 and that's it, yeah, forgotten. And it's also a PR exercise for us as well as the right? So every one of us do this. Every Rotarian in the world, right? We volunteer our hours. We volunteer our time. We do projects. We get involved with everything we do. But how are those time counted? While we spend, you know, hours volunteering, 5.8 million hours in a month, in a survey month, are those projects that we are doing, are they really something that we can be very proud of? So let's use that 5.8 million hours that we spend much more effectively in a long term basis. So today, let's get to the crux of it, right? We've got 8 clubs who have, over the last couple of months, trying to put together their global grant project. It is, some of them are complete, some of them are not, some of them are at initial stage. But the idea today is to hear from all of them and to be able to know what are their challenges, what are the things that they require. Some of them have done it very well, some of them are still at halfway through. We have AG Judy Chong, who is also from Bandar Utama, and the club is the host club who is proposing the multi-sensory therapy. We will be going through the presentation through this schedule here. And then we have, of course, DiRaja, Rotarian Surrenderik, but I think he's not here today, but Hardeep is going to take over. And we have the mobile clinic. We have President Alan Wong from RC Damansara for the gift of hope, early detection in colorectal cancer. And we have President Hu Bunhan from Bukit Bintang for farm. Right. And if you see all the 4 presentations, we have a TRF coach, a member from the TRF committee who is assigned to each of these clubs to be able to help them through their application. After that, we have the next 4 sets. Bandar Sungai Petani, who will be talking to us about emergency COVID relief grants for the hospital. Some of us are very actively involved in that, but we're using it on we're using our normal fundraising, not a global grant. We have a new area, which is education for refugees, a very pet area for pet project for Kiara Sunrise. Halim will be doing it. Metro KL, this is to equip the pediatric ward at 4 or 6 hospitals with incubators. We have our TRF coach, PAG Dr. Silva, who will be leading it. And of course, the 7th area of focus that has come into play, environment, and there's a project on global garden environment by RC Melawati. And again, we have our TRF coach, PAG Arvin, Benny, Silva, Siva, and earlier on, Susan, Vian, okay, who is all involved in helping the class. So what's going to happen, the flow of today's presentation, I would just, I'm going to go out of all the formalities. We're really going to go into understanding what actually this global grant is all about. So what will happen is I'm going to give you a link now. In fact, you can find the link in the chat group. Bernard will put up the link. Download the link now, right? Everybody download that link. I think Bernard has put it up. Now, and then minimize the link. After you have put your name and club, minimize the link. And after every presentation, the presentation is only for about 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes for question and answer. I know there's so many of you here. We have at least about 120 of you here. You have so many questions, you have inquiries, and you may be interested in the project partnership. Put all your comments and your thing into the Google form after every presentation. Do not submit it until the end of the day. So at least if your questions are not answered immediately during this session, because remember we have 8 sessions, it will be answered after you submit your Google form. Like I said, download your form now, minimize it, and after every presentation, if you have any questions pertaining to it, update it in your Google form, minimize it again, and do it for the next presentation. Okay. So without any further delay, I'll stop share here. I would like to invite our first group, first club, which is the Rotary Club of Bandar Utama, who is the presenter is AG Judy, but I'd like to hand over to our PAG Susan, who is the coach, to introduce the project. Over to you, Susan.
Y'all. There's an echo, right? It's okay. Thank you very much, DRFC, fellow Rotarians. It really gives me great pleasure to introduce none other than our AG Judy. As all of us know her, she's been very, very active, not only in the club level at the district, particularly with DAGA. And we've been together working on the autism journey since 2015. And then for the DAGA Second Autism Global Grant, Judy has been very, very involved together with PAG Henry as well. And owing to the club's energy and dynamism in terms of the commitment to helping in the autism journey, she and her club has taken on this exciting challenge. Okay, and AG Judy now is ready to give you a brief overview on the application for the global grant for the multisensory therapy classroom, which will actually complement what DAGA has been doing the last 6 years. Because we've been doing so much to train thousands of teachers and caregivers throughout the country. And now the only way is to fulfill whatever MOE special education want us to do. Okay, it was since 2018 that the PPKI program came into force. And now AG Judy will present to you a very straightforward presentation. Judy, over to you.
Thank you, Susan. Very good morning to everyone here. I'd like to share the screen. Yeah, DAGA has been going through 2 global grants, and this is another global grant to add on to the early intervention on autism training for teachers and caregivers. Now we specialize in the public school as well as in also NASOM, our smart partners. Yeah. Share the screen. Okay. So this is our application for multi-sensory therapy classroom. And why we move on to this is that sensory is very important for autism development, not only for autism, but also special needs. And it is compulsory and very, very necessary for their learning. Yeah. So next slide. So our area of focus is back to basic education and literacy as per our 2 global grant, and we specifically zero in for public primary school special needs students with autism, ADHD, ADD, slow learners, Down syndrome, dyslexic, and any cognitive condition, which can benefit from the multisensory therapy room or their overall brain and movement therapy led by the special needs teachers in the schools or in NASOM centers. Then our community needs assessment will be our partners who are the stakeholders, basically the PTA, the Guru Besar, and the teachers, and of course the NASOM centers itself. We will have 6 reports, 4 from the public school, which under public school, they have the special needs program under PPKI. So we will need them to fill up the community needs assessment as well, because they need to take the ownership of the program in order to be long-term sustainable as well. Then Rotary Club of Cheras has already implemented 2 projects together with Metro Ipoh for the multi-sensory school in KL. This is one of the example of a multi-sensory school. As you can see here, the children are doing their fine gross motor movements, and they will need a number of hours to be spent here in order for them to be more therapy for their hand-eye coordination, because you need that for writing and reading, and also fine and gross movement, so that it will help them to develop their brain to coordinate their left and right brain learning development. Yeah, you need to be focused in order to read and write. So the objectives is that since 2018, Malaysia Ministry of Education, Special Education, with the initiative of the integrated special education program offered to selected primary school, inclusion of special needs students into the mainstream school environment. So I think since 2018, in the MOE has launched the zero defect policy, whereby all children are to be accepted into the national mainstream schools. So that's why they need to have more of this PPKI program. And PPKI program, a lot of the schools do not have proper full functioning multisensory therapy classroom. That's why Rotary is here to fill up the gaps, and also to train more teachers to understand sensory learning and therapy for the children. Yeah. Then this is another school with RC Pudu and RC Cheras in Sedang. These are some of the equipment. All these are recommended by our psychologists in our current global grant, Ali Han, and also master trainer, Michelle Chia. The estimate cost of this project is $30,200 US. We plan to apply for 8 classrooms with 2 days training. Yeah, these are the cost breakdowns. And these are the exact cost. We have worked out all the costing already, and it will be applied throughout all the classrooms. And who are the beneficiaries? Malaysian public schools, primary schools with the PPKI program, and 2 NASOM centers. These are the proposed schools that we have now, but we have not spoken to them except for NASOM because the schools are still closed. Yeah. These are the proposed project funding subject to DRFC up to maximum 10,000, and then match with the World Fund, that is 80%, 8,000. Host Club contribute 3,000 RTBU, and seek extra funding, local or international, another 3,000. Partner clubs to contribute 1,000 US dollar. Those who are involved to fund, to also be involved in this global grant, about 6,000, and district to help with the international fund, 10,000. So it will work out to about 30,000. Yeah. RC Cheras, our partner club, 2 classroom, 3,000. Bandar Utama, 3,000, 2 classroom. The other participating Rotary Club, Central Damansara, Bukit Bantera, RC Langkawi, and RC Setiawan, each will be 1,000. Yeah. Then proposed international partner Rotary clubs is RC Takada East and RC Zurich North. Then these are the impact for the global grant: 6 classroom, 21,000, $30,000 US. And how many students for each classroom? 180 students and 4 teachers. So these are the people that we will train, and the impact. I forgot to add here the teachers classroom for NASOM. Then we will have 2 days workshop sensory therapy on sensory therapy, communication, and the Autumn Gillingham phonics program on ABC. Yeah, this program will be applicable for all special need children, and they can at least learn some basic ABC together with the sensory therapy. The measurable will be the first evaluation of the 2 days training for the 24 teachers, and then 6 months, another performance assessment of the students for 1 year. It means every 6 months we submit 2 reports. Sustainability will be the next batch of students for the following year will be able to learn and benefit from the program. So these are the checklists for this global grant. The host club will be Rotary Club of Bandar, Utama. RC Cheras couldn't apply for the project because the Daga project is still in progress until next year. Primary contact will submit the GG application, that is Bandar Utama. We will put in President Angeline. We'll appoint a treasurer in our club as well, which has another TRF reporting format. And then the global grant dedicated bank account, profile of the 6 public schools, and then profile of the 2 NASOM centers, which we have already identified, that is NASOM Alostar and NASOM Kuantan. Then proposed project will be 21,000 per classroom, including training for the special need teachers. Then we will obtain 3 quotations per location from the contractors. And then the community needs assessment, there's a template which we will give to those stakeholders, and we will draft an MOU between NASOM and Rotary, as well as the MO and the schools for the project. Then the international clubs we have already identified, and the district DTF is $10,000 US. Also to seek international district for DTF, we seek PGG Siti and DG's Bindi's help in this training. With the templates, we will identify the trainers, which will be under master trainer Michelle Chia and myself. We will identify the trainers. We have already identified the trainers. We just need to set up the programs with the basic education and literacy in mind. And then 14 and 15 as per in the slide. That's all from me for now. It's actually quite basic. I've gone through 2 global grants, and this global grant will be hopefully be approved as soon as possible. We have yet to submit. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, AG Judy. Anyone?
What happened to Siti?
Siaran tergendala.
Hello.
Yeah.
My dear,
What?
you used the wrong PowerPoint. You notice you put 6 things we need, you put 8. Actually, this is not the one that I corrected.
Already.
Never mind.
I think there's a line problem. It's gone up for a while. It's okay. Let's have fellowship. Thank you, Judy.
Susan, can I
Do you have
step
any
in,
questions?
Susan? Susan, you
Susan
have
can-
the agenda, Susan? Or waiting for Siti?
Can I just make a comment? Just now my slide should be 40,000, not 30,000. I've sent in the look at the wrong slide. So it should actually involve 8 classrooms. Yeah, okay. But everything in the data is correct. It's just the numbers of classrooms. So is there any questions from the floor?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Judy, Carmen here from CBKS. I would like to ask a little bit on the sustainability portion. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the next batches, next batch of students next school year. Maybe you
So
can
they will
share.
practice. No, what we meant is that we do the training now for the teachers, right? So the teacher will be able to train the batch of students. The next year, there will be another batch of students. So that's how the global grant will see that this project can reciprocate the same program, but yearly different sets of students. So if the new teachers come into the picture, the current teacher that we train, they will be able to train the next batch. That's what they mean by sustainability. That once you've done the training and all that, the stakeholders will take ownership of the program. That means they know what to do already, and they are able to train others. It's like train the trainers. And then the students, different batch of students every year, new batch of students will get to learn. So that's how the reciprocate the program in terms of sustainability is all about. So it's the same thing with our current DAGA Global Grant under Host Club, Rotary Club of Cheras. We train the teachers teachers go back and train the others, then the children all gets to benefit. That's why your impact is so huge. We are impacting people for these 2 global grants. We already impact like 3,000 over caregivers and teachers. It is so important for the early years in basic education and literacy. That's why we choose
Thank you, Judy.
the focus group. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, guys, my line just went off. But I think from Judy's presentation, of course, do submit your questions in the chat sheet. But these are the basic things that in her presentation. And if anybody who's going to look at preparing a global grant, the 10 steps. Remember the 10 steps. The basic information. What is your project all about? Who are the committee people who's going to be involved in your project? Which area of focus that you're looking at? How can your project, the measurements of your project, how is it going to benefit the beneficiaries? What is the sustainability effect of your project? Who are the project partners you can be involved in? Not necessarily, you can extend it to corporate organizations, corporate or other NGOs, like in her case, it's NASOM, right? And she's only indicated a few project partners, but can you imagine if you look at her costing, the budget, don't fear the budget, that's just an indication, because if more clubs comes in, the cost goes lower. And you see, you can spread it into about 6 or 7 schools in different locations. So if you have a school in Kuantan, a Rotary Club in Kuantan can take over that part, but you are part of a global grant. That's what we are looking at. So this is an example of a project that can involve as many clubs as possible. You can even adopt 2 clubs, 1 school, and your initial cost can also be lower. Don't worry too much about the budget. We'll go into budgets later on. Don't let that scare you away, right? So let's move on to the next presenter. Who will that be? Who's the next presenter? Let me see. We have the next presenter here for the mobile eye clinic. This has been, they have been working on by the action group of the blindness action group. And I think Rotary Club of KL DiRaja is hosting this project. So I hand over to our TRF coach, who's also a member of the club, PAG Hardeep Singh. Over to you, Hardeep. You are sharing your screen, Halim?
I'm trying to share my screen. Can you see the screen?
The screen is on.
Okay. Hold on.
You want to put it into slide mode?
I'm trying to do that.
Or just at the bottom there? Yeah, just lower down a bit more. So while Hardeep gets his screen sorted, just to give you a little bit background about this project, because I'm also a advisor with the action group of blindness prevention. As you can see, this is a second action group which is also involved. The first action group is the action group on autism, which Judy has started. And this one is initiated by the action group on blindness prevention. See, while the action group is not in a position to apply global grant, it is the clubs that is going to take on to host that project. But the action group is there to be able to help you, right? So the action group in their project initiatives over the last 1 year has identified the need of having a mobile clinic available to the beneficiaries. And using that background, we have worked on a possible grant application. And this is what the presentation is all about. Hadeep, are you ready to take on?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning. Sorry about the slight technical problem. Basically, speak on behalf of the team which is running the whole project, because Surendradeep has taken off to London to send off the daughter and the son to university in London. So he only got the visa recently, so he had to immediately leave upon getting the visa. So I will leave that as the and this presentation was actually jointly done or prepared by the Ministry of the Malaysian Armed Forces by Brigadier General Subhash Govindasamy, who is actually very much involved in this project. Consultation with the DAG BP, which is the district action group for blindness prevention. Basically, to just go to the background, there are about 4 million aged 18 and above who are diabetic in Malaysia, and 1 in 5 of Malaysian adults are diabetic. So that's where the whole intention of creating this help for the Malaysian people. And so blindness in adults is also diabetics, and this is a joint project with the Malaysian Armed Forces, the Medical Corps, and the District Action Group for Blindness Prevention under District 3300. And it will be a mobile outreach because we want to reach as many as possible in the whole of Malaysia. So as we go into the details, this I think you can read on your own. The Malaysian the diabetic retinopathy is the most common cause of adult blindness, and these are the percentages that are mentioned, and these are all taken from the Ministry of Health and the National Health and Mobility Survey in 2019, and probably it has actually increased further because the increase is very much in tandem with the lifestyle that Malaysians are actually going through. And the aim of this project is to to do free screening of diabetics for veterans. Veterans are from the army, and probably there will be some other agencies, and B40 category, and of course the rural population. And why the need for such screening is for early detection and early treatment, because awareness campaigns and talks and forums and flyers will also be included, and this is basically to prevent blindness. There are a few roles that we have segregated between the MINDEF or the Armed Forces, and of course from the Rotary district. From the Armed Forces, it will be the expertise because they are from the medical corps. The project planning also is basically with them, so that they are in line with the actions that are going to be taken. And of course, the training part will also come from MINDEF. And from our side, we need volunteers, procurement. We will do the procurement, maintenance. Maintenance meaning the overall things that we have purchased. The project fund and the logistics. This logistics is because we need partners in each state in Malaysia to be running around with this group of MINDEF medical experts. So every time there is a project, the person or the Rotary Club in that area will be requested to help out, rather than people flying over from here to those areas. But these are details that will come as we actually the van or the mobile van to do the project. Further, these are the breakdowns, the team roles that we have indicated. This Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur DiRaja will be the host club. We will also be applying for the global grant. The Rotary Club of Singapore, District 3310, will be the international partner for this global grant. Rotary clubs which are in the northern part, Kedah, Penang, Perak, Selangor, and of course some in Pahang, Terengganu, and Kelantan, are district partners, partner clubs. We are actually looking at district partners. So whoever, whichever club is keen, you don't actually have to come up with the whole big lump sum of money, but we want volunteers. We want also, of course, if you can finance or fund some of the equipment, or even do some kind of arrangement with the local people, that is already good enough for this project. And Rotary clubs at district partners will also will invite B40 communities in their areas to attend selected clinic days. It will be published or scheduled by the MINDEF. And Rotary Club in District 3310, Malacca, Johor will do the same. They will be also our partners. We are looking at that. And MINDEF will house, operate, and maintain the MDRC. What is MDRC? This is the name of the project. This is the Mobile Diabetic Retinopathy Clinic. So, Mobile Diabetic Retinopathy Clinic of its Lumut base. So, MINDEF will have this at its Lumut base. It will be available as per schedule once everything is in place. Veteran Association publicize and encourage veterans to attend clinic days. This I think you can read on your own. I'll go. Okay, there's one very important item at the bottom, that is the Sigi University and the eye hospital, Tun Razak Tun Usinon Eye Hospital, will work with MINDEF to provide volunteer help during clinic days if needed. This is the breakdown of the cost, or the what we have planned. The hardware costs and the I think so many of these are all some are technical, some are the mobile van itself. It will need modification, so it's going to be quite costly, because it will handle everything from the van. So I'm not going into the details. If you are keen, we will send you these slides so that you can read it on your own and get the details. And this is how it looks in Malaysian ringgit. The total is on the next page. The total comes to 480,000 ringgit, but is equivalent to about 112,000 US dollars. Which we are still assessing the costs and all that, but we are looking at about this amount to proceed with this project. And the actions, the project actions, we have got we have formed subcommittees, central, state level, and the grant and fund committee to apply and approve, and also to have a joint project approval. Equipment procurement, we have actually got the MINDEF to help out on the details, and also the Tun Usinon Eye Hospital to help out. Volunteer recruitment, that is today we are actually recruiting volunteers, meaning we want people to put up their hand, put up the names of their clubs in our form, so that we can proceed whenever we are ready to get your number of volunteers, your dates and whatever in place, because we don't want to wait until everything is ready to go for this. We want to alert every club that this project is going to go off, and we have all the plans already on the table, and we need funding. We are actually looking at let me just go to the details. There was another slide. Okay. We are looking at actually $60,000 funding from the Rotary clubs, from sponsors and all that. But this will be, again, approach to you individually, and we are not expecting big chunks of money coming from each club, because we know there are limitations. We will, probably put up with whatever you can offer, because we want you to be partners, we want to work with you, and we want to be part of this project. And it is going to be a long-term project, because we are working with MINDEF, and I think we are going to go for the best equipment and tools, and this will be a sustainable long-term project that we work towards to contribute to the Malaysian society as a whole, and also to the specific needy communities throughout Malaysia. And I will not bore you with details. If you want more details, please do come and join us. And action needed, I'm putting up a slide here. Action needed now is to spread of partner clubs, at least one from each state, at least one, meaning if there are more than one, we are more than happy to accept you. And this will work with ATM or the Angkatan Tentera Malaysia or the Armed Forces to organize vision clinics in their localities. Partner clubs may surface ancillary service opportunities after working with our group of people. And we are looking to raise up to $60,000. All clubs are invited to join. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please post to us in the form, or you can ask now.
Thank you, PAG, Hardik. Just stop sharing. My friends, okay, just to add on, but before I add on, I would like to welcome our RRSC Jason from Thailand, who has joined us. RRSC, your presence here is very important, because we need your help to also help us to get partner districts from other districts. Welcome, DRFC Jason. Now, just to share with you about what, or rather expand further what Hardik has mentioned. You see, in this project, again, who are our partners? We have approached MINDEF, right? Because when we buy, or when we have this $120,000 worth of equipment, van, Rotary cannot keep it. Rotary is not to take ownership of the van, right? Rotary cannot take ownership. So MINDEF is willing to take ownership of the van. That means they are going to manage, maintain, and have the drivers for the van wherever they are going to do their vision clinic. Their team of ophthalmologists is also going to be part of the vision clinic, which they have in their own schedule. Every state, they will visit twice a month. It is in their schedule, or which is their health camp. So we have included blindness prevention or vision clinic in their health camp, apart from all the other health activities. So the idea of working with MINDEF is so that MINDEF has got the capacity to manage and maintain this vehicle. So once we have this vehicle done, we will hand it over to them, and they are going to park it in Lumut. So every time they go out and do their vision clinic, these vans are going out. The idea of us working with or wanting clubs from all the states to be part of this is because once they start doing their vision clinic roadshow, health campaign, say example, if they visit Kedah, we have Rotary clubs in Kedah who can actually join them and do the vision exercise or the screening exercise, even be part of that community because their roadshow is actually specifically meant for their veterans because they have got veterans all over Malaysia. But our arrangements with them is that while they're having the veterans there, we can also invite the B40 community in wherever the location is to be part of their health care, right? So this gives opportunity of Rotary clubs to work with them. Practically everything is done. The camp, the management, everything is done with them. All they need is the Rotary clubs to be there to further support them because we have your community. As far as the Veterans Association is our beneficiaries, main beneficiaries. We need that because for the RI grant MOU, we need to sign an MOU with either the owner, which is either MINDEF or a working partner. In this case, the working partner is going to be the Veterans Association. They are working partner. MINDEF, we also have an MOU with them, but we have a little challenge there because MINDEF is under government. So when you deal with government, just remember this. They have their own government agreement. So you need to seek RI's approval, whether that agreement can be taken on as the MOU agreement that is laid out by RI. So these are things that we are currently ongoing. But my friends, I think what we would like to do, the committee would like to see is those clubs who are interested to be part of this global grant, not just in terms of during project, but part of this global grant, please inform Hardik or DiRaja because we would like you to be part of the committee to plan this project grant. Not just coming in to give your money and then run it out. No, we want you to be able to be part of the planning process so that when the global grant, the van is up, so we know that we have on the van TRF, Rotary Club of DiRaja, Rotary Club of Alustar, Rotary Club, all your club names, those project partners will be on the van. Okay, so we want project partners not just for your finance, just for your volunteerism, but be part of the planning of this project from the onset. So if you are interested in that, please fill out the form that I sent to you guys. Put your comments there, put your interest there, we will look into it. Right, so let's move on to the next one. We have PAG Arvin, who's our district treasurer from Sungai Petani. Arvin, you ready? Over to you, Arvin.
Thank you, Siti. Yep. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Let me just get my slide up. All right, hold on here. Yes. All right, everybody. My project is actually very straightforward. It's basically an emergency COVID-19 relief global grant to assist the local hospital in Sungai Petani, Hospital Sultan Abdul Halim. This is the project title. Just hold on. Why isn't it moving? Sorry, yeah, my presentation is not moving. Sorry. Okay.
Maybe COVID.
Yeah, it's a COVID project, and it comes under the disease prevention and treatment area of focus. The objective is basically, although it's simple, let me explain. COVID-19 is currently wreaking havoc in most parts of Malaysia, with cases and deaths per million among the highest in the world right now. Sungai Petani Kedah is one of the worst affected regions, and the healthcare system here is on the brink of collapse. The main hospital here, Hospital Sultan Sungai Petani, is in urgent need of medical equipment and facilities to help the healthcare professionals manage the increasing number of cases. So basically, our objective is to help them, give them essentially equipment which is essentially needed to help them out. For the community assessment, I have to change my file because it's in Word. Just hold on, please. Sorry. Okay. All right. This template is actually from TRF itself. So I keyed in everything here. So the beneficiary community or institution is the local hospital, as I mentioned earlier. The ones who will directly benefit from this are the patients and the healthcare professionals who are treating them. Demographic information is nothing to mention. It's patients, it's quite clear. Who conducted this assessment? The host sponsor, myself and another member of my club. All right, we did this in July 2021 when the situation was becoming bad. Now, most of us dare not go to the hospital already. All right, and the interview was done with Dr. Asnita Ibrahim, who is the head of MOP department in the hospital, and other doctors and nurses from the hospital's COVID-19 response team. So what this project addresses is an immediate need to strengthen healthcare facilities and support system. Currently, there are over 5,000 active cases in this district, where the hospital is situated with 400 new cases. Bear in mind, this community needs assessment was done in July. Right now, the cases are more than double in Kedah right now, and especially in Sungai Petani. The hospital originally had a capacity of 696 beds, with 201 allocated to the medical department. With the cases increasing, more wards, 12 wards and beds have been converted for COVID-19 purposes. Currently, 411 beds are being utilized for COVID-19 purposes. This is just the hospital itself, all right, not the other neighboring smaller clinic kesihatan. With additional 350 beds set up as temporary quarantine and treatment centers, with 200 beds at a temporary center and 150 beds at an open outdoor area. This 150 beds was actually donated by Searchy. You all might have seen the plastic boxes, which is laid within the hospital grounds, but in open area. All right, the hospital is currently treating 420 to 450 cases daily, and this number is expected to keep rising until October, and hopefully November, December, it will come down. All right, we identify the equipment, especially with the specifically with increasing number of cases in mind. This as more wards are designated for COVID-19 use, non-clinical areas become COVID-19 wards. This equipment will ensure better monitoring and treatment of patients. The patients that will directly benefit are those in category 4 and 5, which have severe symptoms, need breathing support, and might need a ventilator. The community's assets or strengths. One thing about Malaysia, we are lucky. We have well-trained doctors, nurses, and medical personnel. Compared to other nations, we are better off in that way. All right, and how we determine the primary goal. With increasing number of cases daily, the hospital is clearly unable to cater to the increasing number of patients due to a lack of resources. As I said, we came to this decision after discussion with the hospital team. And it will help increase the capacity of the hospital to treat COVID-19 patients. How would the project accomplish this goal? More essential equipment means more lives can be saved. Right now, doctors have to make the impossible decision to choose who gets certain equipment, like a ventilator, and who doesn't and is left to die. I have a brother who is actually tending to COVID patients in HKL, and the stories he tells me are the same as what is coming out of Hospital Sultan Halim. All right, and what challenges have prevented the community from accomplishing the project's goals? Well, the lack of funds and resources to purchase essential equipment, which can help keep patients alive and healthcare professionals safe. How is the community addressing these challenges? Basically, the doctors are choosing who lives and who dies. All right, now back to my PowerPoint presentation. Sorry, this is not my strength. Where are you? Okay. All right, the estimated project cost is about 79,000 USD. These are the equipments that are urgently needed together with the suppliers. I'm being very transparent what we're getting, who we're getting them from, what's the estimated cost as well. All right, so the things like hospital beds, syringe pumps, vital sign monitors, powered air purifying respirators. These are for the doctors to wear, portable ventilators, and high flow nasal cannula machines. So the price is there in local currency and in USD, exchange rate of 4.15. Regarding the funding that we've already secured, well, my club has come up with USD $2,000. We wish we could have more, but the thing is, we have so many COVID-19 focuses right now in Sungai Petani, which we have raised and spent more than R1 million. So anymore, it's really stretching our resources maximum. And we are seeking DDF of USD 10,000 from District 3300, and which will also entitle us to a World Fund match of USD 8,000. Internationally, we have managed to secure 11,000 in DDF from District 3310 and 3201. 3310 is our neighboring district, southern and eastern Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, and 3201 is in Kerala, India. That will entitle us to a World Fund match of 8,800. Even with all that, we are still short of an estimated USD 40,000. Now, I hope to submit this project in the next 10 to 14 days. So I have personally written to districts, and not only myself, I've enlisted help from PDGs, friends, so many of them who are writing to districts all over the world, trying to get some DDF for this. All right. How do I measure success for the project? What does it do? It improves capacity of local healthcare professionals. It promotes disease prevention and treatment programs. It strengthens and reduces the burden on an already strained healthcare system, and it provides clinical treatment and rehabilitation. Regarding sustainability, that part is guaranteed because the hospital is a public hospital. The federal government, the health ministry, will cover all expenses for continuous maintenance and use of equipment. And importantly, this equipment will go in as hospital assets. So it means that for years to come, it is going to be there. It will not suddenly disappear. After 3 months, suddenly you go, the equipment is not there. No, it becomes office. The hospital takes it in as their asset, and it will be there. And we also took care to identify, to ensure that this equipment that we chose can still be used after COVID. It's not that they become redundant or obsolete. No, it will still be used. It will be put in the necessary departments in the hospital. As I said, total budget is 79,365. That's all for my project. If we have some potential partners attending today. If any of you are interested, you feel this is a good project, or if they are Rotarians who grew up in Sungai Petani and feel that they want to contribute, just drop us a line. Thank you.
Thank you, Arin. Okay, just to share a few thoughts here. One is on the project itself. I am discussing with, because some of the equipments that Arin has mentioned is also some of the equipments that is under our help save lives. So we may be able to buy some of these through our funding that we have, so that we can reduce a bit on the fund, the Global Grant Fund.
Yes, please. Whatever you can get from that, I can reduce the cost of the project. So you'll be helping me a lot.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do, because I have the list of equipments that Kiara needs. Now, that's just one part of it, how we are going to help him to reduce his costs, because we are ourselves raising funds for the hospital, which you are fully aware of. Now, the other thing which I shared with Arin was, Arin, how can you include clubs in your project? His answer to me, PDG, this is Sungai Petani Hospital. Who wants to help Sungai Petani Hospital? Only Sungai Petani Club wants to help Sungai Petani Hospital. He's right too, because some of those clubs, like I said, Alustar say, I've got Alustar Hospital to help. I mean, why should I help Sungai Petani? I'm in Butterworth, why should I want to help Sungai Petani? But friends, this is where we have to change our mindset. If we can support projects outside our country, some of you are supporting some of these projects in outside the country. Let's refocus and see how we, especially Klang Valley clubs, if you want to get involved in a global grant and you take pride that you are supporting a hospital in Sungai Petani within our district, right? Share that project, be part of Arin's global grant project, right? So whether the fund comes from you, whether the fund comes from your corporate entities that you raise fund for the project, or it comes from your sister club who will be part of these projects, whom you have also probably funded in their projects. So what I'm looking at here is, how can Arin's project, who is a solo project right now, be transformed into a project where a few other clubs can join him? So when he has the launch in hospital, now of course we have movement restriction, but say we don't have any movement restriction, won't you like from Klang Valley clubs to go up to Sungai Petani and launch that project, and in Sungai Petani will be very happy. If something goes on in Klang Valley side, the northern clubs will be able to support the clubs in Klang Valley, which probably something that they don't have in that area. This is the other thing about why we are moving to global grant and partnerships. We have this very silos mentality. This is my project, I will do it, and I'll go and struggle and try and get funds. When you have every opportunity to invite other Rotary clubs, especially Rotary clubs who are not involved in global grant, how they are, even as little as 1,000 ringgit, if you put more clubs in it, forget about 1,000 US, even as little as 1,000 ringgit, they can actually be part of a global grant project. AGs is why we wanted you here, is because it's how you can speak to your clubs who says that, oh, I don't want to do global grant because it's such a huge project.
PDG, can I add on?
Yes, Selva.
Yeah, Arvind has discussed with me earlier. As you know, COVID was ravaging Klang Valley, and now we are seeing the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, but still it's an ongoing thing. And what the northern states and are facing is what we faced back in June, July. And these equipments that they request is important, is needed, and is sustainable. That means even COVID is not around, it can be used for management of patients when anybody who comes to the hospital. Saying even though Hospital Sungai Petani covers that area, but knowing how COVID is managed, it's not only patients from Hospital Sungai Petani. The patients can come from all over Kedah, even upper part of Perak also actually. That's what we've been doing. As long as there's a place to manage a COVID patient, the what they call the main BMU, the state BMU or the national BMU will send the patients there. So it is a very rightfully that not only RC Sungai Petani should help, all the Rotary clubs should help because it's a Malaysian issue. It is not a Kedah issue. It is not a northern state issue. It is not a Rotary club Sungai Petani issue. COVID-19 is a Malaysian issue. Whoever has the means and the funds to help, it goes a long way. Thank you.
Thanks, Silva. Yeah, that is on the funding part. But what I'm going back to is our global grants. How clubs can be part of global grants? Of course, when we talk about the hospital support, what is immediate, that is what we are doing with the Safe Health Lives funding, right? So, Arvin, I think 1/3 of what you wanted will be actually managed by that fund. So we'll talk about it so it reduces your global grant a little bit. Because we'll do the immediate equipments that is needed first. Okay, so that's my friends. That's where the hospital one comes in. So let's move on to the next one. Like I said, questions. Please put in your question sheet. I'd like to move on now to the gift of hope, early detection of colorectal cancer. Right. I'd like to hand over to PAG Rian Chin. Rian, over to you.
Thank you, PDG Siti. I think should be my voice should be okay, right? Okay, now very good morning, everyone. So the next presenter is actually President Alan Wong from Rotary Club of Damansara West. This is their first global grant application as a host club. Of course, for RC Damansara West, they have done quite a number of they call it matching grant previously. I suppose it's district grant, and they're also a partner for a global grant before. But this will be their first time applying, and the project they are doing, I would say that you should listen because it's something that we can do it, doing the screening earlier and really can save life. I will hand over to President Alan Wong for his presentation.
Yes, thank you, Rainy, and good morning, DG, Bindi, and all my fellow Rotarians family. So my name is Alan Wong from Damansara West. Okay, I cut the long story short. Let's start the presentation. Okay, let me share the slide right now. All right. My club projects called Gift of Hope is talking about screening of the colon cancer for early detection, and the area of focus is in line with our Rotary focus area, which is a disease prevention and treatment. Right? Why I choose, or my club choose this project is because we found that, all right, from the statistics research from our country, that 60%, more than half of it, all right, of the colon cancer can be prevented through the screening. Right? But the problem is too late. Too late. And my father, personally, passed away because of colon cancer. Once they find out, it's already in the 3rd stage, and after 4 years, gone. Right? So I think if something happened that we can help, it will be meaningful to me personally. Okay, like what I say, according to the Malaysian cancer survival research, show that 70%, around 70%, right, either male or female, once they find out colon cancer is already in stage 3 or stage 4, which is considered the late stage. So imagine if something can be done to detect early, right? They have a longer or more effective period for treatment, and the survival rate is very high, right? But unfortunately, right, because of the poor awareness, poor education, all right, and don't know what's next step to do, right, and worried about financial lack of knowledge, all right, cause all this problem continue in our country and increasing, and that is scary, right? Okay, our project objective mainly is 3 things only. 1, 2, 3, not 30, but 3. Number 1 is to provide the primary screening. We call it FOPT. I will maybe you didn't hear about FOPT before, but later I show you a picture, you will understand. Right? And then secondary is the colonoscopy. I think majority of you know about it. All right, putting in something into your backside and then to know what happened exactly. Right? And finally, very important is to educate the importance, awareness of the cancer, colon cancer for early detection. Very important. Okay, and now let me show you. This is the image of the FOPT, right, test. It's actually a stool test that to find out whether your blood inside or not. Is there any blood inside or not? All right. So and then if tested positive, just like COVID, tested positive, then the next step will be on the colonoscopy to find out more details whether which stage is it. Right. Okay, based on the community assessment and running this project, we targeted on people who are aged 20 and above, adults, not children, because they are the major sufferer based on the statistics. And of course, we help the low-income group, not the one that driving Mercedes or BM. And class 3, B40 is the main group. And our club plan to start with the PPR, flat house, right? Flat residence in Rejang, Muhibah, which is at Bukit Jalil, and Sentu at the moment in the initial stage. Why? Because these are the 3 PPR that worked with us before in our project, which together also with our other club like Bukit Jalil, Sri Petaling, and also Sentu Club, and so on. So we know the Ketua, we know the Pengerusi very well, right? We have spoken to them about this testing. They are very keen to help and give us the full support moving forward. Right. And for colonoscopy, which is the second screening, as what I stated down there, also mainly only focus on low-income group. And finally, the education part for awareness will be done, right, for general public, right, in a common role. Okay, look at budget. No money, no talk. Right. So on budget wise, we are expecting or requesting the whole project would take less than 50K on US dollar, right? And the breakdown will be shown as shown, which I will not want to further elaborate. Which is, but it will cover, the budget will cover the FOPD test mainly, right? And then we will have the secondary screening, which is the colonoscopy on only the one that find out is low income, right, and positive. And of course, for the logistic, transportation, education, preparation, all that, all right, to take the client or the patient to the hospital, all that, we will take it about, in total, 15,000 US, which at the end, 45,000. Who is our partner? We cannot do it alone. We have our very experienced professional partners come from National Cancer Society of Malaysia. I personally visit them a few times, spoken to their head and also the manager, who they have about already more than 50 years in this cancer field. There are many also to help people who are detected, right? And what is the before, during, and after process? They are the expert. So I think we are glad that we have them. Okay, they are not alone. We also have local partners with HKL especially during the colonoscopy stage. And HKL and the third partners will be Hospital Shah Alam. Why these 2 hospitals? Because especially HKL, we have been with them with our previous project, club project, for many years. We know the people inside. We know right. So we have very good relationship. So we can get a good connection, and also the follow-up will be done more effectively. But personally, I will prefer I will encourage for this hospital Kuala Lumpur is the first choice, because on the area that we choose, Rejang, Sentu, and also the Muhibah, this place will be more ideal compared to Shah Alam. But Shah Alam can be a good contingency plan, right? Okay. Like what I said, we cannot do it alone, all right? We need partners club also to support. These are all the partners club that verbally, right, agree that there would be a good chance to, definitely a good chance to collaborate together with this project, either in fundings or in activities. Thanks to Damansara Club, Melawati Club. I know their member also presenting today, right? Damansara Club, Metro KL, I've spoken to their the club president. They are very keen to collaborate together. Thank you. But the exact amount, right? After the board, they will tell us. Hope that there will be more. Okay. So international side, we are very glad to have our previous partners on Global Grant, right? Which is RC Dhaka Royal. We've already agreed to have to support us, to give us 5,000 US, right? And Davao Club, which is our sister club. And I know Mr. Ng is here today. Hope that we can do more with your district, right, and get more support, right, and work together. We have worked together in our Milk for Babies, so now it's a second project. Right? Of course, Taipei Newcastle, another sister club, and also RC Osaka at Japan. Right? We are actually starting the conversation already, and in the progress of submitting them our proposal already, even before today. Okay, measurable. We are targeting to scan like what in my budget plan, 3,500 people benefited to be screened. Right, so this is a very straightforward measurables. In terms of sustainability, which is a very important criteria in the global grant. So 2 things on the sustainability that I would like to highlight. Number 1, right? After the patient detected colon cancer, right? Because of the poor education previously. So now, all right, patient can be very clear because they have a expert team called NCSM, which is the National Cancer Society in Malaysia, to tell them what's the next step. Not only so our part is doing the screening, but the continuity is definitely there, right? Very clearly. And next sustainability that I would like to highlight is this project, right? If we can get more funds, then we will do it in a bigger scale. But if the fund is more limited, right, then we will still carry on, right? Even without a certain fund coming in, we will carry on this, right? So this it depends on the amounts of the fundraise. That's what is stated there. Okay, so this is all my presentation. I hope that simple, but you highlight the key things to you. So I pass it over to Rian. Thank you.
Over to you, Rian. Anything you want to add?
No, I think it's fine. I think he did an excellent presentation. This is his first experience, but he did it very well. Yeah, back to you, PDG.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Yes, great indeed to hear from you. But you see, friends, there are a few other additional elements that you can see from Ellen's presentation. His presentation, he has actually engaged sister clubs. At least 3 sister clubs that he has engaged with. And Japan is really, you have to look at sister clubs that has got a lot of DDFs, because some of these rich countries or districts, they have a lot of DDF to offer. DDF is their district designation fund. So if they were to contribute their DDF, say if they contribute $5,000, RI World Fund will match 80%. So if it's coming from the club fund, RI will not match. But if it comes from their district DDF, RI will match 80%, or World Fund will match 80%. So if you have a good relationship with your sister clubs, especially countries like Korea, Taiwan, Japan, some of the other countries, do engage with them, do reach out with them, because that's where your funds comes in. Sometimes the fear of looking at these numbers that has been presented by 3 or 4 of our Rotarians here may fear you guys and say, oh my God, I have got to come up with 4,000 US, 3,000 US. These are just the figures if you do not work with Catchment. The other thing, if you see Alan's presentation, he has also identified partners, corporate partners, right? I mean, like for example, the hospital, the National Cancer Society. So these are all professionals who backs up his project. and it's important to engage.
You can do left and right.
Right. Paul, you need to start. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at all these areas. In each of every one presentation, like I said, these are just to give you an overview of how you can actually look at global grant in different perspectives. I'd like to move on to the next one is to RC Bukit Bintang. Right, we have President Koo Boon Han, and I think your coach is PAG Susan too. Over to you, Susan.
Thanks, PDG Siti. Well, our President Koo Boon Han have been waiting patiently, and as you know, he's from Bukit Bintang, where he has got all the taiko to help him to get the international funding and to also guide him. This young man has put in a bit of his effort to come up with a chantik presentation. So, by the way, Koo Boon Han is also a member of our DAGA committee. He's very dynamic. Over to you, President Koo.
Thank you very much, PAG Susan 2. Hi, my name is Boon Han. I'm from Rotary Club of Bukit Bintang. I'm the president and also the TRF director. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me share my screen. It's done by my wife, actually. It's not me lah. Okay. I'm sharing. Those who are not sleeping yet, can you just type 1 to encourage me to present better in the chat box? Okay. Yes, I think there's 3 persons that type 1. Okay, enough motivation. So let me share with you what Bukit Bintang is going to do during this Rotary year, right? So it's all about, actually it's not urban farming. I do not know why the district, I believe it's a miscommunication. It's actually eco farming, sustainable farming practice, right? So what we're going to do is actually we're going to establish a training center in Ulu Langat, Selangor, right? So this training center is the one that's going to provide sustainable agriculture training skills and also knowledge to those community there, right? So these are what I'm going to go through with you, right? The topics are actually given by the district. So let's go for the first one. We look at the project objective. All right. So pretty standard. Hold on, let me just get rid of my. Okay, so there are 2 things that we want to achieve via this training center. One is, of course, we would like to enhance the trainees' awareness and practical skill on most important sustainable agriculture practice, which all the way and then turn left, Giant. Sorry, is it a question or? Okay, sorry. Right. To enhance upon getting these trainings, these skills and knowledge, subsequently, their productivity and quality of their farm produce will definitely increase, right? And because of the pandemic also, there are various marginalized members in that community requires new skills so that they can actually cultivate their land with the correct method, which will produce a better quantity and also the quality for their crop yields. Okay, so how do we carry out this project? Okay, how does it work? Very simple. What we will do is we will identify, which we have already identified, a 2.4 acre training center in Hulu Langat. That will be it is actually one of the committee members there who is willing to use their center for us to do this training, right? So this 2.4 acres has already been identified in Hulu Langat. That's the reason why we choose Hulu Langat to do this project. So the next step is to identify around about 100 marginalized members in the area of Hulu Langat to go through this training, right? So the criteria, of course, we would prefer to choose those who actually has a land or a land given by their ancestor, so that at least what they learn, they can practice the skills right away, right? If they still do not have a land, some of them, we may actually come out with a profit rental scheme, right? So that we rent them certain below market rate land, then they work on it, right? So what will happen is there will be two parts. The first is they will go through a classroom type of training, whereby experts and speakers will be giving them knowledge or basic knowledge about how does a sustainable agriculture farm technique works, and also how they are able to achieve sustainable income from cultivating the lands, right? Upon getting this, upon obtaining this knowledge, the second part will be on the practical training. Practical training means they will have to employ their effort to cultivate those lands at their home, right? So while they are doing that, of course, the training hub just it's not that they're going to provide only training. They will go to these farms and ensure that whatever technique they use is correct, and also they would also provide them with machineries or site monitoring so that the things are done correctly. Okay, so two things: one, they give you knowledge in terms of classroom training. Second is the practical training, where we ensure that they actually do or practice what they have been taught, okay, in their own land or the land that they have rented. Okay, finally, when the result is out, we will create an online platform for them to market their the farm produce if they do not have any existing buyers, right? So teach in class, go for practical training, ensure that they really do what they have been taught, so that none of this effort will be wasted. Lastly, help them to sell. Okay, so let's go to the area of focus. Yes, I did wrote 3 area of focus, but at the end, my club will only submit 1, right? So for the purpose of discussion, of course, my club prefer to go with number 1, basic education and literacy. How does it work? Because we are equipping these adults with skills and knowledge of this agriculture practice, which is not being practiced that much in Malaysia. So the way sustainable agriculture work is they will use certain technology, whereby all this organic knowledge will be used to increase the health of the soil. Okay. Secondly, is of course to strengthening basic education and also provide awareness on this knowledge. Area of focus number 2, community economic development. Of course, this is easier. You give them skill, you teach them how to use the skill. At the end of the day, the skill will generate income or bring or give them a better livelihood, right? When you ask them to use environmental friendly way to produce crops, definitely environment will be benefiting from it. So it is one of the ways for us to create awareness on how to make the environment better by using sustainable agriculture, and also the method that will not harm the earth, right? Okay, so as I said earlier, this project is still at its infancy stage. We just planned 1 month ago, and we just finished our community assessment. So method used by us is through this 4 methods: survey, community meetings. How we get the community to meet is because we work with some of the villages head. They themselves will have their own committee, so it's easier for them to call up all the members to attend this meeting, so that we know what actually do they want and how are we able to help them. Of course, to do this, we need expert who knows how to do all this and to give us all the equipment and knowledge, right? So we have also interviewed various experts in sustainable agriculture. So one of it has actually agreed to be one of the participating organization to help us, to give us all the products below market rate, and also to provide us with trainers. They are able to deliver this project. Last but not least is the asset inventory, whereby we have already identified certain community strength, right, which are very conducive for us to perform or to implement this project. Okay, one of what there are actually 5 strengths that we have identified. One is most of the beneficiaries that we have identified, they are really willing to learn these new skills in order to upgrade or upskill their farming techniques, and also to increase their enterprising spirit. All right. Besides that, we also have the support of the village head and its committee member. So they will be assisting us in whatever manner that they can, like providing us the lease, like giving us support in getting the villagers to come out and learn this thing, right? Without their encouragement, I don't believe that the villagers are trusting enough to attend our training, right? Then, of course, Ulu Langat, the one nearest to an urban area, they have a lot of vacant agricultural land to be developed there and to use this technique farming, right? Then, last but not least, most important, the operator of this training hub, which we have already identified, is actually operating out of Ulu Langat. So they are agreeable to let us use the land. At the same time, they are also agreeable to take over this project once it's completed. Take over means to continue giving this training free of charge to the beneficiaries after we have set up this training center. Okay, now we go to measure. Is it measurable? Yes, measurables. How do we measure the success of this project? Okay, so these are the 7 elements that we're going to use to measure how does it able to provide the benefits to the community there, right? So number of trainee trained. So we are targeting about 100 of them every year, okay? So among the 100 trainees, maybe out of 100, 10 of them will be trained as a trainer. So they will continue to train the next year's batch. Every year, 100 trainees, 10 of them, hopefully they are okay to stay back.
Oh, connection problem, I think.
Hello, can you hear me again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I continue. So from 100 trainees, we're going to train. From 100 being trained, 10 of them will be selected to be trainers. The next year, they will train another 100 trainees. Then among the trainees also, we are not just going to give them the knowledge. We are going to make sure that they practice the knowledge by measuring the amount of harvest that they produce in their farm. Also to measure how much of this harvest they have actually produced are able to give them increase of income, right? Then of course the size of the farm that they have been cultivated, that is also important. The bigger the size, the better for the environment and also for the impact of this project. Right? Last but not least, we also will measure the soil quality once they use the technique that we have taught them, right? So that at least we know it will be given, the environment will be benefited from this type of training. Okay, sustainability. How do we sustain this whole training hub? Because of course to establish is easy, but at the next year, how to make sure that the objective is not stopped. So first thing is the trainee becomes the trainer. That is one thing. Of course, we will get the most committed one to be the next batch of trainer to train the trainees, right? And also being the operator of the.
Hey, Punhan.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you put back your screen, which disappear?
Oh, my screen disappeared. Okay, wait. Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Yeah, okay.
Let me open it bigger. So how do we sustain? Let me repeat again. Of course, the trainee becomes a trainer. 100 of them, out of 100, 10 of them will be selected. Then in order to sustain, who pays for the bills and electric and also the rental for the training hub? So what we're going to do is the operator have also decided that they can be committed to take over the training. So what they will do is that training itself, the training program itself is also offered to the public for a fee, for a training fee. So those who afford, they can also go and learn these techniques. So from the money obtained from this training fee will be used to subsidize or to pay the what you call the maintenance of this training hub. Okay. So another way is also the operator is also going to offer eco farm tour for anyone who wish to come and visit, who wants to know about what organic farming and also nature is all about, right? So this is also with a fee, right? And also for in the training center, they also will be producing compost, high quality compost, and also farm produce for the sales, right? So the money we get from training from the public, for those who are afford, they can pay training fee. So those who are afford, they can go for eco farm tour. Those who wish to buy compost and also organic crops, they can also go through this center. So those money that we generated from these three activities will be used to sustain and to pay for the subsequent training. So imagine every year we can produce 100 trainees. So this is how we sustain it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Estimated project cost. As I told Susan, I'm not able to present today is because some of the components we are still waiting for the quotation, and also the operator also has yet to come back to me on this, right? So, but it's definitely within USD 50K. Local partners clubs. Unfortunately, we still have not approached any partners yet, save for the two RCBB clubs we have not approached, but we have approached outsiders. The operator willing to come in. The operator is actually what you call a sanctuary in Ulu Langat, who is keen enough to take up this project and continue it after Rotary Club has actually set up for them, right? The other one will be private entity. Okay, they are actually the producer or the seller, distributor of a sustainable agricultural technique. They are also willing to come in to provide all the expertise and help, right? Then international partners. I just got a news from one of my club members. They said that Rotary Club of Gaon, Seoul, Korea will be supporting us minimum 10,000 USD, right? So of course we are still doing our best to find various partners. So if you are interested, please drop me a message. Q&A is after the whole thing. Thank you very much. Back to you, Susan.
Anything you want to add, Susan, further?
Wow, very well done, President. And right now, we have to decide on one area of focus. And you may say that your club members wants it to be under basic education and literacy, but looking at the whole project and the sustainability, I still feel that you may report it as economic and community development. We can discuss this later. But overall, very good presentation. And tell your wife, thank you very much for the cantik presentation as well, the PowerPoint.
Okay, I will tell her.
Maybe allow, Susan, if you don't mind, and also Siti, just allow me to add a few more points. Yes, we have discussed very thoroughly at a club level. Now, in fact, the primary objective is to help those who have lost their jobs and those their income has been very, very drastically disrupted because of the prolonged COVID. Not so much of marginalized, yes, we also want to help those from the P40 families with financial challenges. Not necessarily, they must have land. Now, basically, we want to provide agricultural education. The field of hope, in fact, is very, very common in other underdeveloped countries, where they teach them, to provide them an alternative. Some of the trainees, after the training, they can also be employed, employed by the farm, the so-called school, to work there. And the produce can also be sold, of course, to the marketing. We'll look at it. The club will look at it. And to me, in fact, I've also checked with Sungai. I've sent the paper to Sungai. Sungai, I think you know. And of course, we have to focus on one. We can't have the so-called economic and community development is one, yes, but it's very, very difficult to justify. In terms of statistics, you have to identify the beneficiaries, what kind of income level now you have, what kind of income level you bring to bring to them through this education. But education-wise, they can come back. They can, if they have their own land, even in the case of sustainability, environment sustainability. Now, whether is that the need of the community? That's the question we have to ask. In fact, I don't think so. What they want is just some employment opportunities, some venture opportunities, or some opportunities to earn an income. I think this is something very, very important. Now, when you talk about international partners, you have 10 sister clubs. I don't see any issue. In fact, RC Gao has spoken to me when Punhan said, one of the Rotarians asked me, anyway, it's more than 10,000. We have so many, we have 10. We have sister club from Japan, Taiwan, we have Korea, we have Thailand 3330, where I think Jason is there now. I hope you can take the message, get the message. So as far as the international partners, no issue. Budget, I don't think it's an issue at all. We have a lot of so-called family clubs, daughter clubs, mother clubs, brother clubs, friendship clubs. I don't think that's any issue. My last global grant, we have 10 partnering clubs, 2 international partners, 2 districts coming in. So I don't think any issue, but of course, we did help from the district for the DRF. We will try to encourage members to contribute this year more in terms of PHF and things like that. Basically, I think this is something which we need to sit down, we need to fine tune. I hope you can understand that, where we are coming from. All right.
Thank you, IPDG.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Okay. So from Hans' percentage, anyway, Punhan is a lawyer, so he's going to now turn. Thanks for that lovely presentation into eco farming. So you're going to be a lawyer turn eco farming. That's another area. But anyway, one of those things like IPDG. If you all have heard, Susan mentioned about the focus area in economic development. IPDG mentioned about literacy and education. Both are our 7 areas of focus, right?
Yes.
So, which area of focus that you want to apply this grant on? This is something that I'm not questioning you, Theo. I'm giving a scenario. I'm just asking clubs, when they look at projects, what is their end game? What is it that they want to achieve? If their achievement is to be able to educate and train people to be independent so that they can lead an independent life, it could come under the area of focus of training and education. But if their end game is to allow that community to be economically independent through a certain project, then it comes under economic development. Having said that, while you have a key focus, all these elements from economic development to environment to everything can be in your global grant application information. These are elements, right?
Exactly.
But the key focus is, for example, in your case, you have decided to get education. But remember, at the end of the day, RI can come back to you to even make some suggestions. So always remember, what is your end game? What are you trying to achieve? What you want to give the beneficiaries? The moment you understand, that's why your needs assessment is so important, even before you submit anything. And that is why if you are going to do any project as a group, discuss the needs assessment. Once you have gone through the needs assessment, I don't think you have any issue in trying to address whatever you want to address. So it is an exercise the club can do. It's an exercise, I think, I'm sure the way Bunhan has presented, he has done his needs assessment, Arvin has done his needs assessment, is how at the end of the day you want to put the whole program together. I'm giving the line to our RRFC, Jason, who has put up his hand. Jason, very, very quickly, just to hear from you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, my fellow Rotarians, 3300. I like this project, eco-farming, all right? I'm surprised that Shemay said that it's under basic education.
No, he didn't say that. No, she didn't say that. Maybe let me just clarify a little bit before you move on. Yeah, maybe, you see, my club president is very ambitious. He wanted to do it, the environment sustainability, he wanted education, he wanted, economic and community development. Now, my point is, through this agricultural education, all the benefits are incidental. For example, economic, this so-called enhancement, development, that will come. And you will talk about sustainability, because through that kind of eco-farming, the sustainability will also come in. That will be incidental. But of course, if you want to, we can bring in, economic and social, economic and social community development. But it's not that easy to justify. Yeah, okay. It's not that easy to justify. Am I right? Yeah, okay. I mean, now back to you.
Okay, let me explain. Just now, Siti said that it is right. It is depending on your ultimate objective. I would suggest your clubs to read the area of focus statements on both basic education and literacy, plus the community economic development. All right, then it will be clear. It will be clear. Yeah. Why I say this? Because sometimes when we look at it is under basic education, but the projects get rejected. I quote you example 3360, building a water dam for farming. Most people will categorize it or put it under water and sanitation, but the project is rejected. Then they go for replanning under the CED project, it is approved. It really depends on your ultimate objective. But yes, just now, from what I see on the project presentation, it is definitely under CED projects. Okay, like I said, the area of focus statement, if you read correctly, it is based on basic education. From what I see, the training that is provided, because all kind of global grant, you need training. You need training and education. Okay, whether is it on the implementation part, on the preventive part. Okay, so I suggest read the area of focus statement and go for it, because we are not here to argue, but we are here to assist to get the project approved. All right. For CED projects, important thing is that in the project's presentation, you did very well. You have identified many things, but one thing that if it is a CED project, you got to teach them simple account bookkeeping for project sustainability, and if possible, fixed buyer after the produce is being produced. And also on the community assessment, the database should cover what is the current income before the training.
Exactly.
Okay. Then after the training, what will be your final income? That will become a good program. That is my my experience tells me, because I saw a few this kind of projects. So work along that way. Read the area of focus statement. I'm sure Siti will be able to help you, because just now Siti said is very correct. Any kind of global grant, sometimes it is in between 2 to 3 area of focus. Do not write a global grant based on too many area of focus.
Area of focus.
You only write a global grant based on one area of focus, which is the final objective. Okay, so that will be easier for the project.
Thank you, Piriji Jason. No, thank you, Piriji Jason.
Okay, we got to
think,
move on.
Sorry,
okay.
I need to move on.
We got to move on.
I think we need to discuss, Unhan.
Sorry.
Definitely we need to discuss.
Yes. Tomorrow is the meeting, sir. Make sure you join.
No, I think Susan also, please.
Today's session is for us to look at all the various elements, which now it gives the clubs opportunity to the host club to go back and see how you want to look at your run. We haven't finished. There's a lot of things later on. When RSSCs talked about these policy statements of each of the focus area. If you look at the policy statement of each of the focus areas, you will be able to understand what you're talking about. Number two, just like IPDG says, he wants to avoid, when you do any economic development, you want to avoid those data about salaries, income and stuff like that. So you opt onto the training. So there's a lot of areas that you want to look at. But important is, how can our clubs be part of your eco farming project? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let me invite another interesting presentation from the Rotary Club of Bukit Kiara Sunrise on education for refugees. And I think that's being coached by our PAG, Benny. Benny, over to you.
Thank you, PDG Siti. Today, the past President Tan Poi Lim will be presenting on behalf of Bukit Kiara Sunrise. And the area is on refugees, and they have named the project Afghan Learning Center, which will focus on literacy, numeracy, health, well-being, education. Over to you, past President Poi Lim.
Thank you, PAG, Benny. It's good afternoon to Rotarians. May I share my screen? Okay. As
we can't see your screen, verbally.
Can't see my screen.
It's blank at the moment.
Strange.
You're sharing something, but it's blank.
Okay, let's try again. Let's try
Maybe
again.
a different slide.
Oh, I'm using a PowerPoint, share. Oh, hang on. I know what I did wrong. I didn't click on my PowerPoint, sorry. Share my PowerPoint. There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, we bit of background. We were, you may know our PAG Kong Vun Sin, who is a very active Rotarian, or some long-standing Rotarian, and it's been very active both at the club level and the district level. It's brought up some 3 lovely daughters, the youngest of whom, Pui, put us in touch with a group of Afghan refugees in 2015 when we did, 16, when we did a medic camp. So we brought them for a checkup, and then we got to know them better, and we discovered that this a very special bunch of refugees. They were determined to take care of especially their children, deprived of education. They're going to be very handicapped when they go eventually to their new host countries. So they organized themselves and did and opened up what they called an Afghan Learning Center, rented premises. They got their teachers to teach their home, their mother tongue, of course, to keep them as a community. And at the same time, they also, thinking ahead, thought subjects in English, both English language and subjects in English. We were very impressed by them because they've done this on their own, using their own resources, as well as their resourcefulness that they got help, UNHCR and a few other NGOs, CIMB Bank, and they've run it for 5 years. So we think that they are doing a good job. Oh, by the way, they not only catered to their own Afghan refugee children, they were open to other nationalities, refugees of different nationalities. So we thought if we could help them expand, develop, that would be some, impact, more impactful. So that's how we came up to this idea. So we are looking for a global grant to develop the ALC, Afghan Learning Center, so that we can cater for more, make it more impactful. We will focus literacy, numeracy, and health and well-being. I understand now that we want to focus, so we'll call it basic education and literacy. But I can see preparing the children for their future homes. We need to talk about hygiene and, like now, talk about, infection. So things like that, I think, will be good. Maybe even reproductive health, because they're young teenagers now. So that might be relevant. So that's our things. And now, as for sustainability, I would say, look, they've done it on their own for 5 years. So with our help, just expanding it, train the trainers, we can get more mileage out of this sustainably. Okay, our club, our past experience, we've done, coincidentally, a project with NESOM as well, supplying audiovisual aids. We've built a 60-bed hostel for Kota Marudu, a small school in Kota Marudu, a poor area of Sabah. We managed to raise 600K for that. We raised another 200K very soon after that particular project to help the one of the villages devastated by the earthquake in Nepal. Yeah, so I think we have got the background to do this. Yeah, so the project title is the Afghan Learning Center, and area of focus, as I said, we'll just zoom in on basic education literacy. Assessment, we are working with ALC to work out the specifics of what else we can do besides the basic what they're teaching, literacy and English. See what else we can do that they have not done. We are carrying out that assessment. Objectives, a few: increase capacity. Yeah, so impact, they are doing 100 now. We can see it may be doubling. Yeah, we train the teachers. They have got a small staff now. We are looking at, firstly, the teachers to be prepared to train other teachers, because they are refugees and there's no telling how long they will be here. Yeah, so we get them ready to train maybe their own graduates. We'll see how it goes. So we are thinking of equipping them, maybe with laptops, because they are still using very traditional teaching methods. We can help them with online learning, maybe. Yeah, a well-stocked library. Yeah, they've got very basic library, a table full of books. We think of kitting out a room for proper library. Audiovisual aids, over and above that. Oops, sorry. Then we're talking about a learning library, if it is feasible and sustainable. A fully equipped pantry for the daily needs, but more important is a fully equipped first aid room, yeah, for emergencies and other services that we can explore. We have not got quotations in, but we estimate it will be between 30 and 35K US. Yeah, we'll fill in the details as we get the quotations. Local partners, would 3310 Sabah be counted as a local? Do you think? But anyway, we have not you're most welcome to join us. We welcome your participation. Because I think the refugees problem is going to get more intense, especially Afghanistan, I suspect, ever since the Taliban government taken over. So that's in anticipation. So we got one local. Our sister clubs are very supportive. We have done, as I pointed out just now, we've done a few, like building the hostel in Kota Marudu. They're all backed. We were backed by Chungli Taiwan, as well as Bugis Junction in Singapore. Nepal is new to us, only since 2015 when we did that. But I'm sure they'll back us. They've been very helpful. Measurables, we are looking at, of course, just the number of trained teachers we get and how we retain them. Student enrollment, see the growth, and then of course see the success of the program, graduation rate, attrition rate, and see why people drop out. Sustainability, we have a proven track. They have a proven track record. That is important, more important. Without our help, they've been running 5 years. So with our help, it's foreseeable that they'll be able to go on. And we know on their own, they have been able to get NGOs and some CSR funding. With our help, I think, and global grant, I think we should be able to complete the project, and they'll be able to find the funds to go to sustain. They are talking about a small fee for students, a token fee that might contribute to their sustainability. Okay, as I said, this is our estimate. The champion. This is Akbar. He's been here, involved with ALC since the beginning. He's got help from others, but we cite him as the champion. And his background is in education, although it's in Spanish language. Yeah, so right champion. And now about the Afghan Learning Center. You can see they have local volunteers to help with caring for.
Sort of this, we're running with only 10 minutes. We finish with
unfair. The rest are overshot. I'm giving less. Okay. I'll finish up.
No, because on the grant side, it's more on the grant side.
Oh, okay.
Something else.
Then I'll run through this.
Just the grant side. Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to know about the grant.
All right. Then I will say I've completed it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. You see, what was the area of focus that you mentioned, William?
Basic education and literacy.
Okay. This is a refugees program.
Yes.
Refugees program comes under peace and conflict. So it is not under our literacy and education.
Oh.
We have, I think we did check this out during Charmaine's presentation when she did the TRF, right?
Okay.
So it is something that it comes under peace and conflict. It's not that it's not doable. It comes under peace and conflict. So you need to look at the statement of focus for that area and what is doable and what is not doable under that peace and conflict resolution, peace and conflict round. Because all these refugees comes under that area of focus.
Oh, you did see that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's okay. It's a learning experience.
We'll look at it. We'll look at it.
Yeah, it's a project. So, so some of these areas may not, some of what you want to provide the ALC may not be applicable in the focus statement, right? I'll share with you what focus statement is later on. But just to highlight to you, anyone who's looking at refugees, it comes under peace and conflict, and their statement focus is slightly different. Okay. Otherwise, thank you very much. I think it is if it's a local project, we're talking about schools, then we can go into the other areas that we talk about. But it's good sharing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Right. I know your club has been so focused with refugees and helping them out. Okay, I'd like to move on to Dr. Selva on the incubators for the pediatric ward in hospitals. Dr. Silva, and I think the host club is Rotary Club of Metro KL. Dr. Seva, over to you, please.
Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, PDG, Siti Subaidah, and very good morning to everyone, especially to RFC, Jason, and also I saw my good friends from Singapore, DRFC, Dr. Sahul and PP Ng Yao Hua. This is something to talk about incubators for premature babies. Initially, the idea was mooted because we have very much shortage of incubators in Selayang Hospital. But later on, I'll tell you why we changed it. The area of focus, maternal and child health, and the community needs assessment, as previously pointed out by Arvin and others, it involves equipment to hospital. The community needs assessment is a bit slightly different. What we are going to get is just reports from each hospital on their needs. For example, like Amjad showed just now, this is I mean, when we say premature babies, these are babies born before the completed gestation of 38 weeks, and they are very, very small. We have terms like extremely low birth weight babies or very low babies. And those days, we would not be even saving those 600 grammars and such. But now, if you look at the data, we are doing better. So these babies need these incubators because they have lost the natural incubator with the mother's uterus. So we need the incubators to nurse them while they gain weight and they achieve their maturity so they can be weaned off from the incubators. So incubator is part and parcel of management in any busy, very active neonatal care units in the country. And as we know, Malaysia is still a young country. We have a lot of births. For example, this is a live births in Selayang Hospital over the years from 2009 till 2020. In Klang Valley, we got about almost 10 government hospitals, not including the private hospital. Each hospital, roughly per year, we have about 11,500, 12,000 live births a year. And so 2% of the live births will need neonatal intensive care. So you can do the maths. Even hospital like Temerloh Hospital is about 11,500. Kuantan is about 13,000. And even small hospitals like Banting is about 8,000 deliveries a year, live births actually. So all these things will make us busy neonatal care unit. So the objective is improving the neonatal care in government hospital, busy neonatal care, and assisting smaller units of hospital to manage their premature babies. The project budget is about US 50,000, and it comes in maternal health care. I put COVID is because during this time, we also use these incubators as part of isolation for COVID babies who are born to COVID positive mothers, or the babies themselves are COVID positive. And COVID will stay on forever. So the cost of project, each incubator costs roughly about 35,000 each. This is the minimum at the present market value. So if you convert to USD for 210,000 tons by 50,000 USD, the proposed contribution by 6 clubs I spent, and going for 4 hospitals, we can always increase the number of hospitals. I mean, if we need it later on, the host club will give 2,000 for 1 incubator. Projected is USD 8.3. So each partner club for 1 incubator, 2,000 US 8.3, and 5 clubs will come to about 10,000. And the project funding, if the district DRFC can give us a maximum 10K DDF plus the matching the World Fund, 8,000, and we contribute. Host club contribute 2,000. Partner clubs 10,000. We are waiting for the help for the district governor or DRFC to get international fund. And who are the beneficiaries? The proposed hospital yet to visit and obtain commitment, but Selayang, yes. The one I saw, Banting Hospital is a district hospital. I was thinking of extending this to the East Coast and perhaps north or south. South, for example, another small hospital which is quite busy now is Tampin, our IPDG's area. So, and the lead club will be RC Metro KL, PP Barat, and the PA, the Assistant Governor Jennifer has agreed And they said anything to do with child health, RC Metro KL will be the forefront. So that's why they became the lead club. And perhaps it will be here, it have some other engagement. Now, the proposed club, when we presented this during our district conference, there was interest from RC Singapore and RC Kuching Central. We will work on it. And the measurables, actually, basically, this is equipment. So we will get the hospitals to send us a 6-monthly report on the use of incubators. In fact, these reports can be extrapolated from the KKM website because all hospitals in neonatal, we have to send to our neonatal registry. And sustainable, I mean, each hospital will have the number of premature babies benefited from our incubator. And as we said, most of these incubators can last more than 10 years. And once we submit to the hospitals, they will take over the management, maintenance, and everything. So there's nothing extra cost to us once we have sent to the hospitals, actually. This is basically the checklist, and the rest is all MOU between the hospital and Rotary clubs, and that's all. Just one example, for Hospital Selayang, we've been about 20 years now. Most of our equipment is already 20 years old, and we were extremely short during beginning of the year and last year. And then when it came to COVID, it was even worse. But there were some well wishers, like for example, this incubator was donated to us, I think early July, by the Bukit Kiara trackers and the bird watchers. The gentleman there is the husband of my neonatologist, so I think she has been complaining at home. So he decided with friends and managed to get one incubator for us. And since they are bird watchers, they in fact did a very good job of putting the logo of them on the incubator. That's all. Thank you, PDG.
Thank you, Silva. Friends, this is another project which has got a potential of involvement of clubs from different states, right? So if you are interested and keen in this project, I said contact them or list out in your comments. Now, some of you may be very concerned with the budget that has been placed by some of the project presentation. Don't worry too much about it, because we will be working with every one of the clubs to see how we can work your budget out for you, and how other clubs, when we start involving other clubs, what kind of contribution, what kind of fundraising are we looking at. So at this today, don't worry too much about that. The only thing that we need you to be able to be aware of is your as a host club, your responsibility as a host club. If you are getting partner clubs in locally, what could be their responsibility, both in terms of funds, if there's any, as well as their contribution in preparing that project. That's what we want, because once clubs gets involved in preparing a project, gets involved in the needs assessments, you will be able to appreciate that project. You'll be able to appreciate at the end of the day what you are doing, rather than just say, okay, I give you $200 US and then my name is up there. That's what we don't want to. So for example, Silva's project here is still at a very infant stage, right? Discuss with Silva and Metro KL, and how if your hospital in Pampin or wherever needs it, how can you work it out, and how can you all contribute? Because at the end of the day, for Global Grant, say we have 5 hospitals, we need the letter from 5 hospitals to say that that hospital needs that equipment. So each hospital will have to come up with their letter from the hospital. Right, so that is where the local club comes in. That's where you're local. And you get that publicity because your club is giving the incubator to that hospital in the period. So that's what we mean by a project partnership, not just one. So our final presenter now, we have the environment Rotarians. May I invite PP Siva Kumar to introduce our next group, next club, Rotary Club Melawati, and Dr. Dato. Siva, over to you.
Thank you, PDG Siti. All right, good afternoon to all Rotarian. I would like to introduce PP Dr. I would like to introduce PP Dr. Dilipan to present application overview on environment, sustainability, education, and model projects for community and schools. Over to you, PP Dr. Dilipan.
You're
You're
unmuted.
muted.
Yeah. Thank you, Selva. Thank you, Siti, PDG Siti.
It's Siva, not Selva.
Sorry. Siva Kumar. We got a Siva Kumar in my club too. So he was a bit surprised how come his name came up. Yeah, okay.
Go to page 1.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. Today's presentation is on, actually is initiated by DAGES. DAGES is the District Action Group for Environmental Sustainability. And we are in the Rotary Club of Melawati. Rotary Club Melawati is our host club. And DAGES, which was founded about 3 years ago, we are looking at actually 4 areas of focus: conservation, signature parks, plant a tree, and love of rivers. So signature parks, we already have launched the Rotary Peace Park about 3 years ago. The plant a tree program also is happening there, and I think clubs are doing on their own plant a tree programs. And we also initiated a Recycle for Life program a few years ago, working with Senviro and also Maikase Foundation for schools. We had about 80 schools participating, and 6 schools with interact clubs, and about 50,000 kgs of recycled items were collected during the 1 year of the project. But the project has been shelved because of the ongoing COVID situation. Schools are closed. So with that, this year in July 4th, we had a global climate conference on climate change and sustainable actions. We also launched the Rotary Eco-Warrior program during that conference. And we also launched our Hug Our Tree initiative during the conference. So then we realized what we need to do after that, And so we came out with this global grant concept proposal. And the title is Environmental Sustainability Education and Model Projects for Communities and Schools. And the area of focus is actually support the environment. This is a new area of focus. So for us also, it's a learning experience on how to actually put up this global grant proposal together, because there's no previous experience in RI to actually review and approve such proposal before. And our project timeline is actually to hopefully we can get the grant approved by this calendar year, and we hope to continue the project from January next year till December 2024. So it's going to be a three-year project. Looking at the area of focus, RI has identified the key areas relating to support environment, that is supporting education. Item number 6, supporting education to promote behaviors to protect environment. So this actually program for schools and also for programs for community to basically to engage with community to actually facilitate engagement and behavioral change, support environmental sustainable living, protection and sustainable development. Also, the enhanced capacity of communities and local governments for natural resource management and conservation. So basically, training and education of communities in conservation and resource management. So the project ideas we are proposing is actually a plant a tree campaign, conservation projects in community and schools, initiate and support a project, a park, and the and adopt a river in your community. So these are the 4 target areas we are looking at as far as projects which will come out of this training program. Okay. And the brief outline of project, the focus is actually on training and capacity building. Is actually a trainer program for Rotarians, interactors, and Rotactors, plus community leaders, school teachers, and school students relating to environment. Since this is a new area of focus, we felt that Rotarians, interactors, Rotactors should also be trained to be trained as trainers, so that they can actually continue this project even after the duration of the project. They'll have the skills and the knowledge to actually continue this project in their communities and schools, even after the project is done. So this training is actually relating to environmental education and awareness, and through workshops, seminars, webinars, field trips, and the trainer program will be emphasized, and also model projects. And it's just not only talking about actually training, we also want to implement model projects in the community and schools to actually demonstrate some of the things they have learned during this training program. And we want to actually initiate the project at three locations. One is in the northern region in Penang Island and Seberang Perai, and Ipoh, Taiping in Perak State, or even the Setiawan or Teluk Intan. And we all in Klang Valley, we're looking at KL and Selangor. So we're targeting at least 10 Rotary clubs, 10 Interact clubs, 10 Rotary clubs will be targeted to be active partners. We are looking at actually linking up with 10 communities in these 10 locations and identifying 20 schools. So we are still at the planning stage now. So our target is to train about 100 Rotarians, 200 community leaders, 150 interactors, 150 Green Club student leaders, 100 Rotaractors, and about 100 school teachers will be trained to be lead trainers and leaders of the project for the community and school. The methodology which will be done is using a civic science approach for community participation. Basically, building upon awareness, knowledge, skills, and then action of actually undertaking a project at their location. The target areas for training, as I told you, is eco-warrior initiatives, the Smart Ranger program, which is basically conservation resources and waste management, then river care and environmental monitoring of water quality, River Ranger program, integrated parks and community school, farm, and plant a tree program. Model project, similar program was actually undertaken in Klang Valley under the River of Life public outreach program. And actually now about 40 communities in Klang Valley are participating, actually B40 communities who are benefiting and participating actively. And also we did the Recycle of Life program. The River of Life program was actually initiated by Government of Malaysia, working with consultants to actually outreach to B40 communities. It was started about 5 years ago. And we have over 40 communities who are actually actively participating in this project. Then, of course, we started the Recycle of Life project, which Dages participated with Senvairo, GEC, and 80 schools in Klang Valley. And we have now a new program going on also in Klang Valley on getting communities to actually take part in this recycling project, so which I just started last month. And the training modules which we'll use is the Smart Ranger program, which is for conservation, waste management knowledge, and good practices. And the other one is the River Ranger program, which is basically to understand the importance of rivers and how to protect and actually monitor rivers. And the above training modules actually approved by the Ministry of Education and other government agencies. The projects we are looking at, model projects which we want to implement on this project are exactly a community urban park within the community, eco-warrior project at club, community and school level, school 4-hour projects, and organic gardens and all this composting, upcycling project, competition. This will be implemented through the Interact clubs, and if they don't have Interact clubs, by the Green Society or clubs in the school. We also want to target a biannual plant a tree and flogging campaign within the community and school project. And also, if there's a Orang Asli community there, maybe we can work with them on a tree nursery project, forest conservation, and water education, tree planting. And the other thing we want to do is set up a river adoption program and set up a river conservation environmental center in the identified communities. So what we are looking at is actually planting about 3,000 trees in 3 years through this project. Supporting a park, identify only 5 parks in 3 years for urban communities, and then 5 rivers over 3 years in 3 states where you can have activities such as a urban community farm, a river park, and river care initiatives as model projects. And the budget for this project is initial, what we have come out with is for training materials, development and preparation, 15,000, training venue and facilitator expenses for the training at three locations in the north, in Ipoh and in Klang Valley, the training to be done. And then with the training, the trainer program, we will assume that the community leaders with the Rotary clubs and the schools will have the required skills and knowledge to actually start model projects within their locality, either the community or the schools. And we're looking at about 10 locations for this project to be undertaken under each Rotary club, with a startup cost about 15,000 for each project. So the details of the projects we have not identified. Even the community assessment and the school assessment is not undertaken yet, so that'll be done soon. And so the total cost we are estimating for the model project for the environmental sustainability is 150,000. So total about 205,000. That's about 50,000 US for the global grant application. We want to continue this with a full-scale model project, and this we anticipate the clubs, which will be partners, will actually take this up further, so that you have about 30,000 for each projects at each location. So this is to be raised individually by the clubs through corporate funding, through the club funding, local authorities, and also through crowdfunding. So there'll be another 15,000 at each location, which will be raised, and totally coming to 150,000. So additional, so totally project budget for the whole thing is 365,000. So this 365,000 will actually support the training, education, capacity building, and environmental sustainability model project. We think the projects are very important because with just training and education capacity building, we need to go the next step to actually develop a project within each location, and then this can be continued. So the funding for the global grant, we have looking at DDF from our district, the TRF of 10,000 and TRF match of 8,000. From other districts, we are looking at another 10,000 and TRF match for 8,000. So we are also looking at other more additional from other districts, but for the time being, we have identified one district, and so totally 36,000, and cash contributions of 14,000 from 10 clubs within our district as potential local partners. We have already identified the clubs who are keen to participate in this project. So the clubs can contribute, I think, from USD 1,000 to 2,000 each as a cash contribution for the 50,000 USD global grant. Yeah, so that's all about the presentation.
Thank you, Dilepan. Thank you, everyone. So you can see, I think again here you have an initiative of an action group. I'm just going to stop sharing. Yeah, this initiative of an action group. They have big plans, huge plans, but what they have done is they have only taken an element of their entire 5-year plan of project cost and just took on that element of 205 for a global grant application. They still have got other 100 over 1,000, which is also their other plan. So you can also do that. Have a huge project, but take on what you think that we can work around the global grant funding, so that you can, in that area, you have clubs also being involved in that project. So environment is something very, very new, and I'm sure a lot of you will be looking at it, and there's so many areas. And if you notice that Dilepan has also included in his presentation the areas, focus area statement. That is very, very important. I will kind of quickly run through that, but before I do that, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank every one of you who have presented, clubs have presented, and this is the idea of this presentation is to give everybody just a little insight on how global grants, how to actually do global grants, what lot of things that you need to look at. It is a very structured way of looking things. Each club has been assigned with coaches, the TRF coaches, and you'll be able to help them. Okay, let me just quickly move on a little bit more so that we can wrap up based on our time schedule. I think what is important is we have come up with this, district has come up with this, the Rotary Foundation Playbook. This is just at a draft stage, so you can see, you will see a white mark there. This playbook will be given to all the clubs, okay? And at the end of the day, not all the clubs, all Rotarians, it's just a online thing. And in this playbook, we will have everything. What is about, I will not go very in detail with this. I would like you all to spend time on this, right? This will be a handy book for everyone, every individual who wants to look at global grants. We've heard the 10 steps that the presenters have done today, right? What are the elements that you need to look into when you talk about sustainability? Because sustainability is one of the very key areas, right? The area of focus. Now, this is where the area of focus statement. So just now when we talk about peace building and conflict for Bukit Kiara Sunrise, if your project fits in any of these areas, okay, it comes under your, it can be put in as a qualifying statement for what your project is all about. So if your project, as example, the Afghan Home, right? The Afghan Home is to provide, enhance the capacity of individuals and groups to transform conflict with building business. Now they are here. You must be able to justify why the Afghan kids are here. Why are they not given the privilege of education? We don't have that. We don't have the privilege of health, right? So you are now looking at this. Here you're talking about training members in peace education. So you can actually use every element of this, of how the Afghan society has been deprived in Malaysia, and that this comes under this, that you would like to apply a grant based on these areas. But we will discuss about that individually with the respective. So when we talk about statement focus, you can actually get into the RI website. You'll be able to download all these things. This is, I'm only extracting the key areas, right? Just now we talked about community, the difference between economic development, what are the aspects of the focus areas vis-a-vis the basic education and literacy. And that's the Bukit Bintang project. So whether these elements fall under the application or this community CED falls under your application, you need to review this very, very specifically. Because when you pick all these, for example, if you use item 7 in the community, empowering communities to develop the environment, then it's a very easy application because it really falls into that statement of focus, right? Environment. Now, environment is what you call, Lilipan has just presented. He used items 6 and 7. Right? So in the education and promote behaviors in protection. So that is where he picks up. He used these two elements as part of his environment presentation. So he covers the area of focus statement, and they have the policy in this now. Next thing is financial response. Okay, in any project you do, there is a financial responsibility of you opening a grant account and stuff. So all these will be in your playbook. You have time to do it, you have time to review it, discuss it with your members, what is the reporting requirements in RI, and also what is the life cycle of the global. Okay, and these are all the references that will help you in terms of looking at your global grants, guide to global grants. You know, the global grant calculator is very important. This will help you to calculate your grant budget, how much funds you need. Where are you going to get your funds? Okay, review those things, right? Now, this one is very crucial. This is our district guidelines in terms of applying a global grant. Okay, these guidelines has been looked into. We have actually looked at a committee. Remember, this year onwards, this year at least, but I think we have the consensus of all 3 governors, incoming governor, current governor, DGE, and DGN. When we worked out this is district guidelines. Please do not confuse these guidelines with the earlier one that I mentioned. Those are RI Global Grant Planning guidelines. This is a district guideline. What do you do? How the district consider your DDF request and what are club's responsibility? Because every one of you, everyone wants DDF. It's very, very important that we give, because the DDF is nobody's money, it's your own money, your annual fund that comes back to us 3 years later. Now, just to let you know, every global grant is not a decision of an individual. We have a committee, an approval committee that will decide on the global grant. When you not say decide on the global grant, decide on the DDF, amount of DDF to be given, right? So this is the role of the committee. There'll be details. It's something that you can't just read and sort of digest right now. I'll be sending this out to all the clubs. Please go through it, right? What are the priorities? Because one of the key priorities we're looking at is to be able for clubs to actually involve other district individual clubs as project partners. So that is why today's presentation, this is one of our key focus areas. Okay, and then what are things that when you apply for grants, what must happen? You must have attended the GSM. And if you notice, a lot of clubs over the years, while the president and the project chair is different from the president or the president-elect, and when it comes to responsibility, you do not have them carry on the responsibility. So these are some of the guidelines the district has now implemented for grants, right? And we also have specific guidelines for projects that is being carried out in our district. We have guidelines for projects that is being carried out outside our district. Why we are very concerned with it is because when we have projects carried out district, they fall into two categories. One category is a non-reciprocal DDF. That means a district outside of an external district wants a DDF based on your club's request, but they are not, they want a DDF from us, but they are not prepared to give us the DDF in return, an exchange. So if we give 5,000, they are not giving us 5,000. So it's a non-reciprocal, because we want to support the club, because it's their sister club. That's why when you have engagements with sister clubs, right, while we mentioned about get involved with your sister clubs, please, 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 do not make commitment things like if you give us 5,000 this year, we will give you 5,000 next year. If your club is willing to give it at club to club level, fine. But do not commit the district's DDF without the district knowing about it. For reciprocal DDF, that means both districts agree to change. For example, I'm willing to give Thailand 10,000, they're willing to give me back 10,000 DDF. So these DDFs are being used to support projects of our clubs. So if, example, I have a DDF from Thailand right now for 15,000, okay, because we have given them 15,000. I can split this 15,000 and I give each of 3 projects 5,000 each for overseas DDF. You see how? So we can actually use, so it's so important that we have reciprocal DDF. Non-reciprocal, we don't get anything. It's only the monies that's coming out. And there's another scenario which I would like to also caution clubs. A lot of clubs is signing off as international partners for their sister clubs project overseas without any DDF from our district, without them even contributing any money, but our district is the approving body. While there's no cash involvement in both of it, even that happens, we need to know, because as a DRFC, I receive approval requests and suddenly I say, hey, when did we approve for this? We didn't approve this project, and but we did, because we do not involve in the financial element, but we are an approving body. Remember, being an approving district, partner district, in case the international partner do not submit their reports, we will be blacklisted, even though we are not financially involved. So please, if you are having any of your friendly clubs who wants you, hey, can just give me your club as a partner club, no financial involvement, the district can just sign off. But we can't just sign off like that, because we need to know what kind of project, so that we will not be liable for reporting. Right? So all these will be in there. What are your reporting requirements? Stewardship, and that is one of the things that we mentioned. So what is stewardship? Pre-project, post-project, corporate organizers, project stage, reporting and resources. This stewardship is, of course, from RI, right? And what is the role of the host club? What's the role of the international club? Both sponsor club. If you look at this role, there's a lot of engagement. But a lot of us, a lot of clubs have also just engaged financially. The international partner has just been engaged financially, not really in the project, right? So you need to know what your project is in, right? So who are your cooperating organizations? We have seen NASOM being listed, we have seen MINDEF being listed, we have seen LUNAS being listed, right? We have seen the National Cancer Center being listed. So these are your cooperating organizations. What kind of MOU do you have? Okay, right? Project stage, what are things that you need to do? Not end yet. Okay. My Wi-Fi is not working yet, so you see a blank page. Okay. So in this whole thing, you have the TRF reporting, and of course your resources. It will be in the TRF playbook. And of course, in the TRF playbook, I will not go into details because it's just really about other projects that we just to give you a gist of it. So that is something in your file, folio, just to give you an idea, some of the recognitions that our district that you can actually share with your club members, right? If the club gives, these are the individual pins, these are some of the club recognitions if you contribute to TRF, right? So at least you'll be able to share this with your clubs when they are giving. And of course, there's also a list of our district committee members. The months, remember, July is no longer an observant month, right? These are the months that are in. These are some of the district officers from the DRF committee that you can actually engage with. Okay. So my friends, this playbook will be available to you. And I'd just like to share what is our goal. As far as the district TRF goal is, that every club participates in TRF. Every Rotarian gives to TRF, whether it's $25 whether it's $2,500 or it's a major donor. And every club to explore global grants. Because this year we are not going to have district grants. We are moving everything to global grants because I think I've shared a lot during the pre-PATS, during DDF, how it becomes more viable for us to do global grants than to do district grants. Bigger projects, wider engagement, and at the same time, we have the opportunity to, do bigger things. So, my friends, the district TRF playbook summarizes what we have done today. It is a playbook that will be given to every Rotarian, every club. It's an online thing. You can keep it on your phone and everything. Look at it as much as you want to when you start preparing your programs. Okay, the guidelines are there. 1. 2, if you need any support from any of our TRF committee members, especially the grants committee member led by PAG Susan 2, or our stewardship committee by Ellen Way, do reach out to us. We'll be able to try and help you with your global grant projects. Thirdly, please engage with as many clubs as possible in the project. So that, while we do not have our district grants for them to do the smaller projects, the same amount of 10,000 ringgit that they raise funds to do that small district grant project, they can now convert that 10,000 ringgit, which they have raised funds for example, eco-farming. For example, be part of the incubator project, be part of the mobile clinic, be part of the refugees project, right? So that 10,000 that you raise from public for your small project, convert that to be part of your project. These are some of the things that we like to share today without really being very, very in detail, because global grant is not a 2-hour session, right? When we talk about funding, there's another session on funding. That one we will work individually with the 8 clubs today, so that we'll come up with a more structured funding, so that everybody will be able to go out there and say, look, I need 1,000 US. Can you support with just 1,000 instead of 6,000? Okay, so the district will look into the DDF. We see, because if more clubs, instead of giving one club 10,000 DDF for a project, if 4 clubs get involved in the project, district gives you 10,000, so it's about 2,005 DDF. And this DDF can be from the district, or even a DDF from the international district, which meets your 15% requirement for international partners. Remember, any DDF is a 15% international partner contribution in your budgeting. Look at the calculator will be able to. So these are the things, my friends, why the chat session today. I always like to keep in time, but unfortunately we have gone into 15 minutes because I really like to really focus on what we want to do. There will be so many other questions. Now submit the form that we have given you, so at least we have an idea of the feedback we're getting from you, your comments, your interest in any of these projects that we have shared with you, any other inquiries, and even if you have a new project, you have a project that you have been doing in your small club projects, and you want to convert that project to a big project, do share it with us. We probably can help you to see how we can make it a bigger project. Some clubs have got very small, very packed project. That's a project that we are so passionate in doing every year. Can we grow that project to be a bigger project? So we are open to all this. To engage with any of the committee members. By Monday, I should be sending everybody the playbook, so that can become your quick reference, easy reference. Okay. So in closing, anyone else? Anyone who wants to? I think everybody should be unmuted, so that for who you are managing it. Yeah.
Siti?
Yes, fine. Yes, you.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Based on your current thinking and maybe the district's current thinking, and what you heard from our presentation, Bukit Kiara's presentation on refugee, because it's something so new, and I also recently read that the RI has got an action committee just set up earlier this year on refugees and displaced people. So something very timely and new and challenging for our district. Based on what was presented to you, do you feel hopeful that we should be pursuing this opportunity? Do you feel this is something?
I think we should, because the number of refugees that we have, or rather the number of refugee communities that we have here, and we cannot help them in other way because they are not, they can't go to school, they can't have education, they can't have proper medical, and all this is done through NGOs. So if these can be reflected in your grant application, in your needs assessment, especially in your needs assessment, it will certainly be able to look into it, because I'm sure we can, and that's why a lot of people don't go into peace and conflict, because they think it's only about peace and conflict, right? But these displaced peoples are actually a result of conflict.
I'm very encouraged by your words, and we will pursue this ever harder to get it through. And I take note that you want us to reach out to you, so we will try to arrange a meeting between yourself, Benny, and Susan, just to better understand how to shape the proposal so that we get the best chance.
Thank you. Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Okay, Anwar here from also Rotary Club Bukit Kiara Sunrise.
Yes, Anwar.
I have a question for you. This is not a project related, but rather a general question. We talk about sustainability. So when you say a project must be sustainable, what kind of window are we looking at? Is it like 3 years? Does it sustainable 5? It cannot be sustainable forever, not logical. But is it like 3 years window, or is it 5 years window? How is measuring that sustainability issue here?
Okay, our global grants lifespan is 3 years max. So how would you have to probably look at within these 3 years, what is the achievable of a sustainability? For example, if you're doing training, right? So within these 3 years, from 30 trainers, you will be able to engage 3,000 in the community base. But in your statement of sustainability, you can say, but over the years, this is what's going to happen. This is expected to be happening, right? So you have RI's report maximum is 3 years, because if you do not finish your report, your project within the 3 years, you'll be in trouble. You can finish your report earlier, especially those who are not into this 3 year, like environment, they've got a long 3 years, autism, they have 3 years. The retinopathy van, they don't have a 3 years. They just have to get this van done, they have to work it and start moving around, right? So, because that is a lifetime project. So, training is one of those areas in RI grant, if you're looking at sustainability. So, there is a training form, if you want to include that. It's a very easy, it's a very, an advantage to your application. if we involve training, because training of skills, upskilling, reskilling is where, whether economic development, whether in any area. So use that training form to support your application, where training can be included.
Thank you. Thank you, Bindi.
Anyone else? Good, great. So
PDG, on,
yes,
sorry, on the same thing of sustainability, actually going back to the Afghan Learning Center project, it comes under peace and conflict resolution. Even, I mean, sustainability, you say like three years. Say after that, these kids are still here. I mean, if you want to apply for another global grant, RI wouldn't, I mean, it won't be a very...
no issue.
No issue.
No
issue.
Because you see, anyone can apply. Look, there is no limit to grant application. Let's put it this way, okay? But district has got some guidelines. If you apply for a global grant, you haven't even finished your global grant, you haven't done a reporting, how can we award you another DDF? I mean, you can do a global grant, but you will not have DDF from the district.
Okay, another point is that when I think DGE, Dr. Krishna said something about training in global grant, and also I think our RFC, Jason also mentioned about training. But for example, like projects like the one that the incubator and also Sungai Petani project.
Incubator doesn't have
actually we have a training what we call TNC when we submit the equipment. So that I think that report itself should be good enough for us to put in our reports. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? I hope today's sharing, I know everybody is like, oh, another training, oh, another Zoom session. It's getting
Siti, not like that lah.
No, not you, but there are quite a number of our district officers who is overwhelmed, so we can understand them, and especially those who are not, especially, that's why I'm really zooming into club DRF chairs, because I think club DRF chairs, if you can be the motivator in your club, support your president and support your AGs, that is something that you can actually do it, because you can't rely everything on the club president. And this is why I have a separate group with the club TRF chairs, because our engagement, the district engagement through the club is through you, the club TRF chairs, right? So you need to be empowered with every information possible. Who you want to say something?
Dr. Krishna raised hand.
Dr. Krish, DG.
Yeah, Siti, I think for all the projects, the clubs have to look into the ways of measurability. How do you measure the impact of your project? Because that is a very important component besides sustainability, measurability. So you'll have to find some measurable indicators which you can incorporate into your project paper.
Yes, certainly. I think that's one of the 10 steps that we are looking at, measurable and sustainability.
Yeah. And that is the area where you'll be facing a lot of questions from TRF. And by the way, DRFC, shall we have a group photo because the numbers are decreasing? I think it would be nice.
Okay. Who wants to take the group photo? Go your screen up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm taking. Okay, everybody smile. Next panel, smile. Just hold your smile, yeah? Because I got to go for 4. Just now we were at 7.
Okay, she tell me earlier lah.
No, for you, I've been taking always. Especially those who have been raising difficult
I think there were numbers earlier was 126, now it's gone on to 87.
No, we started at 150 in the morning.
Yeah, about 150.
We reached 166.
We had
went up to 160 plus.
Yeah, 166.
Really?
We had 161 registrants, 150 in the morning who attended, and now at the end of 1:15, 1:30, my God, sorry, I took your time off, 84 packs. Sometimes we Rotarians must always just focus on the topic and subject matter. The moment we go off tangent, we eat on somebody's time. Sorry, Halim, I got to cut you there.
No, I was the most honest one. The rest all overshot.
Yeah. So I had to say, no, never mind about your gun center. We sort of will hear about it later. But anyway, we are Rotarians. Rotarians is like that. You tend to want to do that. So it's okay. It's fine.
Very well done, PDG.
Thank you very much.
Is so...
Good meeting.
Sorry, it's not fireside. I think I should change it to a breakfast site. Everybody say fire.
Actually,
sessions. You know,
Yeah,
honestly,
there's
what
another
was my
meeting.
plan? Hold on. Honestly, what my plan is, if it wasn't COVID, we will still have a fireside, but the fireside will be decentralized. We'll do one fire. Today's fireside was supposed to be in Ipoh at the Green Towns Global Grant Project. You know, the Dementia Center. It was supposed to be there, so it's for the Ipoh and the other clubs. Then we're going up north to Alostar to do another fireside at the Alostar Hospital. Another global grant project which is done. So we had an idea to actually do 4 on-site firesides at global grant where our district have done the global grant project. Even the water project in the Orang Asli village, we're planning to go up there and do a fireside there. Unfortunately, for now we have to do this, but never mind. We have got a long time to go. Maybe God willing, next year we can organize one fireside on site.
Very soon.
Siti, I think governor is back.
Governor is back. Yeah, governor. You see, governor, we're still here. So, governor, you want to wrap up anything? You want to say anything? I'm trying to look for governor.
Not really. I think I've been listening. It's been very, very interesting. Thank you, Siti, for this session. And it gives an opportunity for smaller clubs to come and join this existing global grants to have a first-hand experience before they embark on their own. So well done, everyone. And thank you, everyone, for staying back till the end. It's been very enriching, even for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I know you're hungry. We'll chat again. We are always. Raji, sorry, I didn't see your hand. Raji, you want to say something?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm P-elect for RC Melawati. The submission of the form, the inquiry form, can we submit it now?
Can. I think you just finish it, submit, you just go into the system.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I also want to add in as a B, I was rather nervous how I'm going to take on my presidency without knowing much about TRF, especially the most, what to me seemed the most difficult area to understand, but I'm very proud to say that it has been an absolutely eye-opening session.
Wow.
Though it was not really a fireside, but we got to know what other clubs are doing and how to do the presentation, what kind of a project goes into what, and I'm really happy, and I know I can be very active in that for my
Well done.
Thank you very much, guys.
Great.
Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you. Okay, enjoy your weekend. We'll catch up with you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, PDG.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Before we leave, let's put our hands together. Give a clap.
Thank you, PDG Siti. Thank you. Excellent program.
Okay, bye. See you. Dr. Vijay.